The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. If your blood runs cold at specters rising from the moss-grown grave, or bloody murder of the innocent, while the evil end that holds sway, now is the time to leave. All right, if you prefer to stay, come with me now to the strange and forbidding house that fades and reappears strangely in the mists of the moors where it is situated. A house of Cadmus Melchior, where the handsome Baron Mark Staunton is making a request which sounds more like a command.
I want Melinda.
Must you invade my privacy? This laboratory is open to no one but me.
I was your son-in-law. I have the right. I cannot live without your daughter.
Melinda has been for 7 years.
But you can raise her from the grave. You must.
It's true. I believe I am very close at last to the elixir of life.
Then in God's name, use it to bring Melinda back to me.
No, not yet. Not yet.
You were so close to death yourself. What are you afraid of?
My fear is more for you. I warn you, my son. I warn you. Do not try to wake them.
Our mystery drama, The Spectral Bride, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Michael Wager and Joan Loring. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Never heard of beer on the rocks? No? Swell. The people who brew Budweiser never have thought ice in your beer was such a cool idea anyway. If you only knew how ice cuts down the head and waters the taste. Oh, a chilling thought. A downright tragedy with Budweiser especially. Budweiser is the king of beers. The only beer in America that's beechwood aged, naturally carbonated. Which means Bud brews its own bubbles. Tiny ones, over a dense lattice of beechwood strips. The beer ages the best way, the right way, naturally. But add an ice cube and bloop, there goes all that extra effort. So if you forget to cool enough Bud, skip the cubes and put your Budweiser on ice for a while, on the coldest shelf in your refrigerator. Even if the wait does frost you a little, it'll be worth it. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
It's Frigidaire Factory Discount Days.
Frigidaire Factory Discount Days?
What do you get?
What do you get? Get.
Coupons for cash refunds.
Cash refunds?
That's right. Between September 22nd and October 12th, it's Frigidaire Factory Discount Days. And you can get cash refunds when you buy selected Frigidaire appliances. You get a $10 cash refund direct from Frigidaire when you buy an FPCI 170T refrigerator, an RSC 36 range, a WCD washer, or a DCD dryer. You get a $15 refund when you buy an LC2 or an LCT 120 Skinny Mini Home Laundry Center. And you get a $25 refund when you buy both the washer and dryer. To receive your refund, just mail the coupon provided by your Frigidaire dealer and proof of purchase direct to Frigidaire.
Coupons for cash refunds? Where are they at?
Where are they at?
At your nearest Frigidaire appliance dealer. So have a good day on Frigidaire.
I warn you, do not try to wake the dead. And yet, who among us who truly believed that some power could restore a loved one, could be strong enough to resist the temptation? Let us remember, too, that in other days an alchemist was a man accorded most infinite respect. Quite apart from his search to transmute baser metal to gold, his basic interest was his humanistic effort to produce the cure-all, the elixir of life, which would alleviate and end all human pain. To a man like Baron Mark Staunton, the alchemist was a figure of total respect, almost adulation. And as for his daughter Melinda, but Mark can talk about her better than I.
Oh, that's a handsome filly.
A little short in the leg, I'd say.
Beneath that billowing skirt, how can you see? Oh, not the horse, cousin, the lady. Look at that. Take that wall. Beautiful.
Oh, I'll grant you the lady has a firm hand and an admirable seat. But she's a wild one, and highly selective.
Ah, so you've made your own advances and gotten your knuckles whacked?
Cousin Mark, if I didn't have a natural fondness for you, I could resent that. Particularly since it's true. But it goes a little deeper than that.
How so?
I am scarcely a man to be ridden by superstition. I distrust all philosophers, dreamers, astrologers, and most of all, the alchemist.
All right, I won't argue, but must the alchemist's daughter pattern herself on what her father thinks?
I couldn't figure out what the alchemist's daughter thinks or believes. She's too much for me. And like a good soldier, I know when to retreat and when to accept defeat.
But how am I to find out what she thinks or believes? Or what she's like?
That's simple enough. I may not have measured up, but I am still welcome at their home.
Can you take me there? Soon? When?
I don't know why I retained any family fondness for you. Your insistence on not going home without a bag full of grouse has kept us so late, the afternoon mists are already clouding the moor. It might be best to ride to Mantra Manor till they blow away with the setting sun.
Mantra Manor?
The center of your heart's desire. If Professor Cadmus Melchior is out of his laboratory and in a good mood, we may even enjoy some good mulled wine.
What about his daughter? Shall we meet her?
That will be strictly up to the lady, who has a mind of her own.
Does she also have a name?
Her name is Melinda. But if you'll forgive some friendly advice, she's as hard to gentle as your own stallion was.
Melinda. Not the way the name sounds.
What's in a name? But if it's your wish...
It's more than my wish. I know it as well as my name. Yeah, it's my fate. Let's go. The alchemist was a tall, cadaverous man with piercing green eyes that gleamed like emeralds from the shadows beneath great tufted brows. But my own eyes had little time to spend on him. Instead, they followed Melinda as though controlled not by me, but by the spell of her presence. She had changed to a long white silken robe which clung to her body. Her face was impassive, but the long raven hair danced in curls against the white of her dress and her skin. And her eyes, so dark brown as to be nearly black, shone with excitement and mystery.
You picked a fortunate hour, Baron Hayward, to visit with me again. Just at the evening meal, you and your friend will join me?
After a day's hard riding, I would be honored to accept your invitation.
And your friend?
Mark? Mark! What? We have been invited to share the doctor's meal.
Most gracious of you, Dr. Cadmus.
First, some wine. Melinda?
Bruce.
Thank you, Melinda.
Sir?
From your hand. Even wormwood and gall.
I trust you will find my wine more to your palate than that.
Sire?
Thank you, daughter. You may leave us alone now.
I could have killed him cheerfully. Naturally, I thought Melinda would be joining us. Here I was, already hopelessly in love, and instead of being able to feed my eyes on her, I had to face some strange gelatinous potion ladled from a steaming pot onto my plate.
When Bruce first came calling, he used to look on these potpourris of mine as if they contained newt's eyes, bat wool, and dog's tongues. I assure you, it is naught but the best of venison, flavored with some condiments my daughter and I favor.
I've never tasted better. And I speak for the wine also. Your taste, Doctor, is impeccable in all things. But Does your daughter not join us for the meal?
My daughter leads her life like a cat. An untamed one, may I add. And especially with this visit, I think she feels there would be less strain with her absence.
Mark is my cousin, Doctor. He knows Melinda did not choose to marry me.
Does he also know that I was against the marriage?
No, sir.
Well, I ask why. My cousin comes of a long and honorable line, and his wealth and position are secure. I know no finer man.
I will not speak for Melinda. For myself, write it off to the fact that no one else has a better grasp of my work. And I'm selfish enough to want to hold on to her just a few more years.
Why just a few? Have you so little time left?
My death is written in the stars. I'm not as selfish as you might think. But I am close, so close to the elixir of life that I hope I do not lose her help till that moment is here.
And you will hold her till then?
I will try. The end is all.
At my age, I'm less concerned with ends than with beginnings. My remark in itself might have seemed harmless enough, but the professor or doctor was supersensitive to underlying meanings, and those searching eyes turned on me as if they could search out the uttermost meaning of my soul. I felt for a moment as though a ghost had crept across my grave. Thank you for your hospitality, sir.
You are welcome, sir. I apologize only for having no household staff. All my slender resources go into my experiments. That's why I had to ask Bruce to go fetch your horses.
I should have gone with him. I lingered only in the hope of bidding good evening to the Lady Melchior.
And I held you only to suggest that you forget Melinda.
I'm afraid that would be an impossibility, Doctor.
I was afraid of that.
You object if I try to call on her?
I doubt if it would do any good. But my daughter is her own mistress. I can only caution you that...
Caution is for old men, Father, not for the young. Still, I am here in its name.
What do you mean?
The mist lies like a blanket on the moor. Even Bruce, as well as he knows the way, could not find it to the town, let alone Sir Mark. I have made up bids for both of them. They must stay and be our guests.
For myself, I accept gladly. But perhaps Dr. Melchior...
No. Melinda is right. It's as dark as a witch's pocket abroad. And unseasonably cold for these old bones. And besides, who am I to stand in the way of fate?
Go in, Father, dear. I shall see our guests settled and safe.
Settled. But safe? God's will be done. I shall see you in the morning.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Dr. Melchior.
Well, Sir Mark, shall we walk together to the stables and tell Bruce he need not saddle the horses?
Or to the end of the earth and beyond.
Or to the end of the earth and beyond. But we should tell Bruce.
Of course. If you'll lend me your hand to lead me the way.
Come.
It's beyond all reason, wild, improbable. But since I first saw you take your horse across that stone wall...
There's a gap in it not 3 feet away from where I went over, but I wanted to be sure you noticed me.
How could I have missed you?
Bruce might have wanted you to.
I know about you and Bruce. But there never was anyone more honest and true-hearted, and he loves me like a brother.
I think it would be very hard for anyone not to love you.
Even you.
It's scarcely seemly for the maid to make the first declaration.
Does it have to be put in words? The moment our eyes crossed, you knew. I love you from the present dark to tomorrow's dawn. And all tomorrows. From this first moment to the last. To the grave and beyond.
You don't even know me.
And teach me to learn.
It will not be hard. For I love you the same. Tomorrow we will say the words. The actual words that bind us.
Forever.
Will you love and protect me and never let me go, Mark?
You know I will.
Oh, I want time to stand still. I won't grow old.
It will for us. You never will for me.
Even if we're parted.
We won't be.
But should we be?
I'd kill myself.
No. No, never. I won't allow you to harm yourself. Just never stop loving me. Never. Promise me that. And I can never truly die.
I promise you. And you will not die. We were married and lived 6 months in such a state of bliss and absolute love that not one solitary thing, not even a vagrant thought of any world beyond us, intruded on our paradise. And then, one day, out riding.
I think your love is cooling. It needs reviving. Remember the first day you saw me? Feel this hand of lace?
Before I could move, she clapped spur to her horse and headed for a high stone wall. The approach was too short and the horse could not clear the wall. His front legs crashed knee-high against the stone and the horse and rider catapulted head over heels among a shower of rocks. By the time I got to Melinda, no goodbye, just gone like a snuffed-out candle. Up a broken neck. Father-in-law, in God's name.
I've been waiting for you, my son. I know.
You are the alchemist. Your elixir of life.
Another 6 months. But I have not yet found the key. We're both to blame for her death.
You knew it was coming?
If I had known for sure. But second sight is not infallible. And I wanted her happiness even above my mission in life. We both gambled and lost. Or perhaps I should say, all three of us.
Isn't there some hope that your elixir...
For centuries, that has remained a dream. Linda is in the grave forever.
No, I'll never accept that. I'll find a way.
You cannot fly in the face of God, my son.
From this day forth, because of what he has taken from me, I renounce him. And I him to take his place with Lucifer and all the other fallen angels.
How easily in the heat of passion, of the agony of loss, the thoughtless words spring to our lips. How fortunate we are that so seldom are we held to account for them. But the Baron Mark Staunton was not to escape so easily, nor his unwilling partner, Dr. Cadmus Melchior, as we shall see when I return shortly with Act 2.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
I would like to ask a deceptively simple question.
Okay.
I say deceptive because few people seem to know the answer.
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah, ready as rain.
Okay.
No, wait. I think that should be right as rain.
Oh, well,
No, you wait. Make that ready as I'll ever be, okay? Ready as I'll ever be.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the question is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happens this time of year? Huh?
That's it.
That's the question.
That's the $64,000 question. That's the one for all the marbles, right?
Well,
That's the one that's on everybody's lips, huh?
Yes.
That's the question. Well,
Good.
as everyone should know, what happens this time of year is that Buick dealers are giving great deals on 1974 Buicks, which of course means that this time of year may very well be the best chance you'll ever have to buy a Buick. From the thrifty but surprisingly elegant Apollo to the dashing full-size LeSabre to the Electra, which surprisingly enough is the second largest selling luxury car in America.
Know it all.
Pretty soon, it'll be time to go indoors and hibernate again. When you do, you'll start looking for ways to stay warm during those cold winter months. Frank Lieber here with some help. from True Value hardware stores. They have Arvin's Radiant Fan Forced Heater, for instance, to warm that hard-to-heat workshop laundry area or any room in your home. Has a big reflector to move heated air faster and a safety tip-over switch. It's just $10.88. You'll stay warm on the inside, too, with the hearty meals you cook in Presto's 6-quart pressure cooker. It cooks up to 10 times faster, so foods retain their natural vitamins, minerals, and flavor. Made of sturdy cast aluminum, it costs just $14.88. True Value hardware stores have a General Electric Chronotel digital alarm clock, too, to help you get out of bed on those cold mornings. It's compact in size and has large, easy-to-read digits that rotate smoothly and quietly. It's only $9.88. You'll find them all at your nearby participating True Value hardware store.
Time, they say, heals all wounds, particularly if one is in the early 20s. And loneliness was far from Baron Mark Staunton's natural estate. Indeed, the extent of his physical estate made it incumbent on him to be married and to produce heirs who would maintain the line. And so, within the year, he had married well, unlike his cousin Bruce, still a bachelor.
Darling, why so pensive?
Oh, I was just thinking of poor lonely Bruce. I swear he enjoys our children more almost than we do.
I hope that isn't so with you. It certainly isn't with me, Mark.
Oh, Anne, my lovely wife and mother. No man could ask for a fuller, richer life than I have.
You find me a satisfactory wife?
You have all the love I have to give. Why should you question it?
It's foolish, I know, but every time Bruce comes to visit...
What?
Oh, I'm ashamed of myself, really. But it brings her to mind, and I ask God to forgive me for what I feel about a young girl who met a sad death so early.
We have never talked about my first wife before.
I must be growing older or more secure. But I do love you so.
Which makes us a pair of doves.
Thank you, my love. And now I must go up to the children's room and be a bear. I know how they adore their Uncle Bruce, but he does get them so excited with his games and fun, and I can never get them off to sleep. I'll send him down.
As I stepped to the fire to stir it up, somehow that simple exchange between a comfortably married man and wife had evoked another picture. That wild, tempestuous, selfish passion of 7 years ago. And from the glowing embers, the face of Melinda, dark eyes ablaze, hair flying in the wind. The face I had so long forced out of my mind suddenly faced me, accusing me, reminding me of all the irrevocable promises made in the heat of youth. I was glad to be interrupted as Bruce came to join me.
You lucky old sinner. 2 wives and kids like that.
What?
What's the matter? What ails you?
Oh, memories. More and more they haunt me. First, it was only in my dreams, but now they invade my waking hours.
What are you talking about?
Melinda. What else?
All those years ago and still not out of your mind.
Is she out of yours? Bruce, how would you like a visitor by month's end?
You? You know my hunting lodge is too small.
Just your old hunting companion. And the grouse season is at its height. And the children go to visit Milady and her Earl, and I would go to greater lengths to miss that dull, dreary household.
That's not fair to Anne.
Oh, not Anne. Bless her. She's been the finest of wives and mothers. Just her kin. For the sake of old ties and friendship, Bruce, free me for once from this annual visit or part of it. Invite me, when Anne returns, to shoot with you over old grounds. A man's retreat to his own company.
It would be good to ride along with you again across the moors. Selfishly, I would welcome the visit.
A whole month?
Why, would you miss me so much?
every second of every minute of every hour of every day. That's all.
My gentle, kind, and loving Anne. Shall we split the difference? 2 weeks away from your mother's patronizing me and your father's cold dislike.
I'm sorry about my parents.
You more than I. You've had to suffer them all your life.
I know how much you've taken from them, and I hate going just as much as you. I go only for the children's sake, and because I owe them some respect. But I don't blame you for not wanting to be there. So go with Bruce, and be free for a little while. But meet me halfway, just 2 weeks.
I may be longing for all 3 of you before that in return.
I hope so. At least that you miss us. And no ghosts will haunt you from the past.
Ghosts?
Well, didn't your first wife come from nearby Bruce's lodge?
She did. And after 6 years under the ground, she assured enough. And you know me well enough by now to know I hold no traffic in ghosts. And so I went with Bruce back into the past. Did I really believe it had no hold on me? Was the tomb I had built in the darkest recesses of my heart for Melinda total recognition of her death? Or did some irrational hope still burn like a flame? That first night at Bruce's hunting lodge, we drank more than we should have and stayed up far too late. It was the darkest hour before the dawn when I was awakened by... Huh? I was asleep.
Mark, you have come back.
Melinda.
Look.
Melinda.
Look to the window.
Melinda. As you were.
As I could be. It's the 7th year. And 3 nights from now, the moon is new. Go to my father. Make him bring me back.
No. Melinda. Let me talk to you now. Melinda!
What's going on?
Melinda. She was there just beyond the window. I could see her.
Oh, you're as drunk as I am. Nobody outside that window. It's 30 feet to the... There'll be no hunting tomorrow. We're due for heavy rain. Oh, my head is splitting. Let's both go to bed and sleep off our carousing.
I could ask for nothing better than that. But whatever sleep I had was fitful because, as Bruce had predicted, the rain came slanting down and the black clouds lay so low across the moors a man might have reached and touched them from the back of a tall horse. At last I could stand it no longer. I had to face the magnet which had drawn me back to my past. I looked in on my snoring cousin, breakfasted on black bread and brandy, and saddling my horse. Rode for the alchemist's isolated home. Suddenly it was 7 years ago, and I almost expected Melinda to appear out of the fog.
Yes? Who is it?
You don't recognize your own flesh and blood?
All I have ever had of flesh and blood has lain mouldering in the grave for 7 years.
I'm not so close then, I admit. But I was your daughter's husband.
What? Why should you return at this particular moment? Oh, first, come in. 'Tis foul weather. And chill enough in here. Alone, I cannot tend the fires and watch my experiments. What brings you here?
Melinda.
You are married, with a wife and children. What does Melinda mean to you anymore?
My heart, my soul, my only real reason for being. What I was died with her. What I am is a dream I live. A dream no longer worth living, especially after last night.
Come into my laboratory. It's the only place where there is warmth. What do you mean by especially last night?
I saw her.
Where?
Outside my window at Sir Bruce Hayward's lodge.
The sleeping quarters are on the second floor. It was but a dream.
I tell you, her spirit was there. She sent me here with a message.
What message?
That this was the 7th year, and in 3 nights the moon is new. She bade me tell you, bring her back.
No. I cannot listen to her plea.
Why not?
What do you know of science, any of you? The weary hours, the years of failure, and the curse of failing hope. The need for direct experiment and the lack of subjects to try it on. And beyond and deeper than that, the right, whether man has the right to meddle in the affairs of God.
That means you have found the elixir.
I didn't say that.
You must be close.
Close, yes. Close. And little hope of being closer. My age, and there is no more money.
Why not try it on yourself?
How do you suppose I have existed these past years?
On the elixir?
One person doesn't create proof. I can make so little, but I think it has sustained me.
And can't it do the same for Melinda?
That is so different. She has been for 7 years.
But you can raise her from the grave. You must.
Reflect on one thing. If she could be brought back from the beyond, you are hers forever. Be aware now that if I could bring Melinda back, you would never be rid of her. This marriage would be for eternity, forever, till the graves all open wide and the revive on Judgment Day. What you are risking here is your immortal soul.
If I must, I must.
So be it. The time will never be more advantageous. Meet me alone by the gallows tree, and I will transport you from there to the grave where Melinda waits for you. And me. But I warn you, if you value your life, do not keep our appointment. Do not try to wake the...
A woman moldering to dust in the fetid earth, to be brought back to life. And if his first wife lives again, what happens to Mark's second? And his children? And most of all, himself? Could he live with both? Or must he make a choice? Will he be allowed a choice? In attempting to give life to Melinda, is he perhaps signing his own death warrant? I'll be back shortly with Act 3.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablets?
No, sinus medicine. Sinus tablets. Helps the headache and the pressure.
Oh, you mean sign-off.
Exactly.
Headache pain is one thing. A sinus headache is something else. Sometimes your whole face can seem to throb with pain. You want relief. Take Sign-Off tablets. Sineoff, the sinus medicine that gives you a full dose of pure aspirin, plus a sinus drainer. Sign-Off, the sinus medicine that helps relieve sinus pain while you drain. And Sign-Off doesn't stop there. Have you tried Sign-Off Sinus Spray, the fastest known form of sinus congestion relief? It works in seconds. That's Sign-Off Sinus Spray. When sinus flares up, use Sign-Off tablets and spray, only as directed.
Sineoff.
Sign-Off.
Exactly.
Sign-Off, the sinus medicines in the bright red box.
My daughter, the Dallas Times-Herald carrier, has what she calls some good news and some bad news. The cost of home delivery of the Dallas Times-Herald is going up. Starting October 1st, it's going to cost $3.40 to have the Dallas Times-Herald delivered in Dallas County.
It costs more to deliver the paper because it costs more to produce it. For example, there's a worldwide shortage of newsprint, and costs have gone up 27% this year. There's also a shortage of printer's ink, and that cost has doubled. Okay, now for the good news. The Dallas Times-Herald is still the best-written, best-read newspaper in town. This year, it won more journalism awards than any other newspaper in Texas. And this year, it's overtaken the morning paper in total Sunday circulation. So while you have to pay more to have Dallas's leading newspaper delivered to your home, it's still a bargain. And a bargain these days is good news.
It was the poet Swinburne who said, "We thank with brief thanksgiving whatever gods may be, that no man lives forever, and men rise up never." Certainly all of us could subscribe to that and believe in it, and yet we could oppose that other famous quotation from Hamlet. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Let's see which proves more apt this time in this tale.
For 2 days I tried to find another world to escape to, but no amount of wine or liquor dulled my thoughts or dampened my hope. Fortunately, it had the opposite effect on Bruce, and so when I left on the night of the new moon for my rendezvous with the alchemist, he was out as if he'd been clubbed.
Mark?
Yes, Doctor?
You are alone?
Yes.
Then follow me to the graveyard.
Will the rain make any difference?
There will be no rain there. We are expecting.
The old man was right. From the moment we left the gallows tree, the rain had stopped. And high above the scudding clouds, the fingernail of the brand new moon appeared and disappeared as if pointing straight at us.
Come with me to the grave. For the last time, I warn you, wake not, but let her rest.
I let her rest. But upon me.
Reflect. She is 6 years. Who knows what awesome creature of loathing I am to resurrect?
Then if it be so, I will join her now.
It shall be as you wish. Step back. Now the Savior.
As I stepped back,
Glowing sun.
he took the sorcerer's stick and drew 3 circles about the tomb. As he traced them, he muttered words of enchantment as he completed the 3rd circle with a great flash of lightning. The stone rolled from the grave. And the coffin was revealed. Bats and owls rushed by. A rushing wind blew the earth, scattering a mold before it. And of a sudden, with a rending sound, the coffin lid burst open as the moonbeams streamed as bright as if it were the full. Then from the skull which Cadmus had filled with the smoking liquid, he poured the elixir on the grave, crying,
The heart beats once more with the flood of life. Thine eye is open to sight. Arise, Melinda, from the tomb.
And suddenly, rising from the rotting wood as fresh as though it had been yesterday, pale and cold from her long sleep with the black eyes flashing, and that glorious black hair tumbling about her shoulders was my Melinda, alive and breathing. Thank you, my beloved doctor, for restoring her to me.
My last act. My last warning. We should have left the dead in peace. May God forgive me.
A flood of torrential rain made anything but emergency action possible. I had scarce time to fold my chill and lovely bride in my arms before we had to drag her father to the tomb she had so recently risen from. Together we rolled the stone back into place. Melinda mounted my horse while I took the old man's. Darling, we'll ride to Bruce's lodge and warm you.
No, Mark, please. I want to go home.
In this weather, chilled as you are already.
My blood flows warmer every minute, and the longer ride will warm and bring me back to full life again. Is there any reason why we can't go home?
No reason in the world. Beloved, you're so cold, so cold.
How could you expect the chill of the grave to melt so soon?
Shall I take you to my bed and warm you with my body?
Too soon for that. You're not my husband anymore.
I am your lover.
Who broke your pledge to me? Remember?
Oh, Melinda,
You left me to rot in the grave.
I begged your father to try the elixir to raise you again. He said it was not ready. He told me he had foreseen your death if you married me. He felt it was God's will.
So you married another woman, and with her you conceived the children who might have been mine.
I did all that. But it was I who drove your father into bringing you back.
And now?
Anne and the children will not be back for 3 weeks. We have all that time together to renew our love.
For 3 weeks? And then?
Well, we will come to some arrangement, some place for you to stay, or part of the castle, or Anne back with her parents, whatever works best.
No. I want that woman out of my life.
Divorce. That would be next to impossible. The bishop
I'm not interested in divorce. You will be all mine, or there is nothing between us.
She would have to die before
she'd give you up. Then let her die. Her time has come. There is only one way for me as what I was, and will forever be, your wife. Alone.
I was warned. I should have known. Admitted it. And I was trapped. I loaded my pistols and, mounting my horse, rode for my father-in-law's house. And Anne. I had no clear idea of what my intent was. I was mad, of course, and possessed. I had to have Melinda no matter the cost. And Anne was in the way. At her father's castle, I found Anne in the turret. It was a mild evening with a soft wind blowing, and I didn't know what I would have to do after I'd explained it to her, like everything else in our life. She resolved it.
Hear the gulls cry in the distance, Mark. So strident when they are near. So mournful far away. It's like a sound I've heard faintly in my heart ever since we married.
I gave you all the love I had to give.
You said that once before. I should have read it more clearly. I thought Melinda could be forgotten. Vain thought now.
Oh, and what can I say?
Say? There's nothing to be said. What can you do? That's more to the point, isn't it? There are no halfways, and divorce would never be recognized. So what? Shall you shoot me?
No, no.
I wouldn't want to force you to do that. I used to come up here when I was a little girl, and I would think, how lovely if I could step from this turret, spread my skirts, and fly like the seagulls, skimming downward to the sea. It's because I love you, you see. Go fast, for no one knows you're here. Take care of the children.
No!
Goodbye. I love you.
She was gone before I could reach her. Her skirts spreading like wings, but too weak to hold her up against the crags below. How long do you decently mourn a wife? Certainly more than 3 short weeks. But Melinda could not shake her chill, and the roses, once so bright in her cheeks, seemed fading, and the luster of her hair and eyes dimming. To have her in my bed, she must be my wife, and I felt that only I could bring her life again. To save her anything was worth it. The censure of my neighbors, the sullen resistance from my servants, even the disgust for my old friend Bruce.
I'm as mad as you are to stand up with you at this wedding.
I cannot live without her, Bruce.
Was there ever such a wedding? At least don't take your pistols to the altar.
I carry them everywhere I go. No one believes I did not push Anne to her death. There is no one, perhaps save you, who would not like to see me, you and Melinda. Oh, God. Look at her in that white veil and pure white dress. Was anything ever lovelier? I was drunk with love and undeserved happiness. The ceremony went by in a daze until at last I turned to put the ring on her finger. In sick horror, I gazed at her hand. A skeleton's hand. The jointed bones with their shreds of desiccated flesh disintegrating in my hand. With a cry of agony, I stepped back and ripped the veil away from her face. Two socketless eyes looked blindly at me from the crumbling skull. Then, slowly, her whole frame collapsed inside the beaded dress to a pitiful heap of empty silk. Melinda was gone, and there was only one way I could join her.
Mark!
Take care of the children. It was all foretold. The alchemist knew only way Melinda and I can be with each other.
It was Cadmus Melchior the alchemist who knew it as a philosopher, and yet was as weak as Mark, who was only a man who loved too well. We cannot fly in the face of God, and I warn you, do not try to wake that such is the story of the Spectral Bride. I'll be back shortly.
How many things can your family do together? Go to a movie? Go to a circus? Go on a picnic? Go on a vacation? Face it, in today's America, family fun is hard to come by. And with busy schedules, just getting the family together is not an easy thing to do. How would you like to have a little family fun every week? How would you like to learn together? How would you like to grow together? And how would you like to help your son get an edge on growing up? Cub Scouting is helping families like yours be a family. It's your helped ours. Today's Cub Scout program is just as much for families as it is for boys. So when your son wants to join a Cub Scout pack, remember to take along the whole family. That's what Cub Scouting is all about. For the Cub Scout pack list, you call the Boy Scouts of America. They're in the white pages of your phone book.
I don't know at what hour you heard this story, or what season of the year. For me, whenever I tell it, even on a summer's evening, some hint of old age always creeps into my bones. The fingertips chill, and my wife complains of cold feet. Mine. It does chill the blood. No doubt of it. And I hope it isn't true. Our cast included Michael Wager, Joan Loring, Patricia Elliott, Robert Dryden, and Jordan Charney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
You'll help, George.
I've always helped him. I'll still help him after I'm dead.
Oh, Walt.
Mrs. Loomis, you must leave now. After I'll come back for George. Mrs. Loomis.
Yes. Goodbye, Walter. Goodbye for now. Doctor.
I'm sorry, but there isn't a chance in the world. He can hang on for minutes, days, but we can't save him.
I was just talking to him. You heard.
I heard nothing. He wasn't saying anything.
But I heard him. I heard him.
Mrs. Loomis, it's just your imagination.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is the official show date for the fantastic 1975 Chevrolets, and you can see them at the area's newest Chevrolet dealership. Light Chevrolet Company cordially invites you out to their big, beautiful 11-acre facility at North Central Expressway and Arapahoe in Richardson. Light Chevrolet Company and the beautiful 1975 Chevrolets both make their debut tomorrow. See them both at North Central and Arapahoe. Light Chevrolet and the 1975 Chevrolet lineup of cars and trucks. Wow, what a team.
I think people are oftentimes surprised by the amount of money we can save them on their homeowner's insurance.
State Farm agent Bob Rain of Cincinnati, Ohio.
And certainly State Farm offers a very fair, very competitive price on our homeowner's policy. If you put the great service along with a very, very fair price, I think you've got a great thing going for you.
At 1080 on the dial, you're listening to KRLD Dallas.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. The story I bring you is one of the most curious I've ever encountered. For what happened to pretty little Amy Prentice shouldn't happen to, well, to you. Put yourself in Amy's place. You arrive one day at the home of the fiancé, Jack Morton, and...
Jack, darling, I'm here.
I beg your pardon?
I'm here. I mean, here I am.
You're here, all right, but who are you?
Who am I?
Look, if you're some kind of saleswoman,
Jack,
we're really not...
Please stop kidding. I'm Amy Prentice, your fiancée.
You're crazy. That's what you are. I've never seen you or heard of you in my life.
Mystery drama, The Bride That Wasn't, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by George Lothar and stars Janet Waldo and Ann Seymour. We've all had odd, unexplainable things happen to us. Sometimes we put them down to tricks of memory, a curious combination of circumstances, or an occurrence that was simply inexplicable, and have then dismissed them from our minds. Perhaps Amy Prentice should have done that, but alas didn't. When she arrived at the home of her fiancé, Jack Morton, all set to get married, only to have Jack tell her,
I've never seen you or heard of you in my life. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. Now, wait just a minute.
You heard me, sister. Beat it.
Sister? Beat it? Jack Morton, I don't know what this is all about,
What is it, Jack? What's wrong? Yes, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, this girl claims she knows me.
Claims I know you. We're engaged. Engaged to be married.
Married? Oh, my dear young lady, you're suffering from some sort of delusion.
That, or you're playing some sort of game. Now, you just get along out of here.
Oh, now, Mother.
I mean it, Florence. I'll call the police if she doesn't.
No, the poor girl, whatever her problem, looks terribly tired.
You'd be tired, too, if you'd come all the way from Midvale in a day coach.
Come in and at least have a cup of tea.
Oh, I don't think so. Not now. Not after this reception I just got.
Well, that's just fine with us. Take off.
Jack, how can you act this way? Oh, honey, I don't know what this is all about, but you come on in and have a cup of tea with us.
No, you get out of here. Go away or I'll call the police.
Now, Mother, you know you'll do no such thing. This young woman is obviously in some sort of trouble, and it's up to us to help her if we can. Jack, you pick up her bag and bring it in. And, honey, you come on along with me.
I don't know.
Oh, nonsense. Come on, dear. All right, Jack, bring the suitcase. Close the door. And now let's all go into the dining room and have some tea. You too, Jack. And you, Mother. Now, what's your name, honey?
Amy. Amy Prentice.
Well, you sit right there, Amy, and I'll pour tea, and you tell us what this is all about.
Tell you, you all act as if you'd never heard of me.
We haven't. Anyway, I haven't.
This is some kind of trick. Confidence game.
Mother, please. Here we are, honey. Nice cup of tea. Now, there's milk and sugar right there if you want them, and a plate of cookies. Now, let me introduce ourselves to begin with. This is Mother Morton, that's him, Jack's mother, and I'm Florence Morton, his wife. Wife? Yes, dear. So, you see, you're thinking he's your fiancé. Well, you see, that just can't be so.
Is she your wife?
Of course she is. Let me tell you once again, I don't know you. I never saw you before in my life.
You did. You did. We met just 2 weeks ago at the conference at State Teachers College.
Now, what in blazes would I be doing at a teacher's college?
Well, you're an English teacher, aren't you?
English teacher, my foot. I'm an insurance salesman.
But you can't be. You can't be. Unless you don't have a twin brother or a double or something.
No, Amy, he doesn't.
As she very well knows.
Mother? Amy, why don't you tell us what you think this is all about? I mean, start at the beginning and, well, tell us the whole story. Perhaps we can help in, I don't know, in some way.
But he knows what happened.
Whether he does or not, you just tell us. In your own words.
Well, I'm an English teacher at Midvale High School. And I attended the conference of English teachers at State Teachers 2 weeks ago. On the third day, when I was having lunch in the cafeteria.
Look, excuse me. There seems to be a shortage of tables. You mind if I sit down here?
No, of course not. Please.
Thanks. I'll just put my tray down here. There we are. Or rather, here I am. My name's Morton, Jack Morton.
Amy Prentice.
Where are you from?
Midvale.
Newark. High school English. You know, Chaucer, Shakespeare, and all that.
Well, we have a lot in common.
Mm-hmm. Including food. I see you got a BLT on whole wheat, toasted.
You too?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Hey, are you enjoying the conference?
Oh, yes and no.
Well, what's the no part?
Well, quite honestly, I don't go for some of the new teaching methods they're recommending.
Yeah. Like letting your students read what they want to read instead of holding them to the curriculum.
You too?
Me, too.
We do have a lot in common.
Yeah, I should say we do. Sure glad I asked to sit at your table.
So am I.
Amy, do you mind if I call you Amy?
No.
And you call me Jack, okay?
All right, Jack.
Well, what I was going to say, it's kind of early to ask you for a date, but, well, look, the barbecue tonight. I'm not looking forward to going alone, and I sort of wondered.
I wasn't looking forward to it either, for the same reason.
You talk about two minds with but a single thought, two hearts that beat as one. Well, how about it?
How about what?
Going to the barbecue with me. Look, the steak is going to be New York cut, my favorite.
Oh, mine too. I'd love to.
It's a date then, Amy?
It's a date, Jack. And that was our first date. We saw each other from then on every chance we got, every day. And just before the end of the conference, Jack asked me... Jack, you know you did. You asked me to marry you.
Look, will you make sense? I'm married to Florence. I've been married to her for 10 years. Would I ask you or anyone else to marry me?
But you did. What do you think I'm doing here? We arranged for me to come today to meet your mother and stay here till we got married over the weekend. Why, this is the engagement ring you gave me.
Now, wait a minute. Cool it, lady. You could have gotten that anywhere. You could have bought it yourself.
Amy, I know you're sincere in thinking you met Jack at that conference and that he asked you to marry him, but, well, it's got to be some sort of delusion.
If it is, how did I know his name and address?
That you could have got out of any phone book. I don't care what you say, Florence. This girl is playing some kind of game.
I don't think so, Mother. I think she really believes what she says.
I believe it because it happened.
No, Amy, as I say, it's some sort of delusion.
Is the rose garden a delusion?
The rose garden?
Your rose garden, Mrs. Morton. Jack told me you love roses and that you're an expert at growing them, that you even exhibit them and have won prizes. Is that true?
Well, yes, but...
That window there, that picture window, does it look out on the backyard where the rose garden is?
Why, good heavens, it does, yes.
I'll describe it for you, just as Jack described it for me. There's a brick walk down the center, dividing the yard in half. You enter the walk through a white trellis that's covered with red and white roses. At the far end of the walk, there's a tall French fence to screen you from the neighbors. And in front of the fence, there's a fountain with a large statue of the god Pan. Is that right?
Perfectly. It's unbelievable.
I don't see anything unbelievable about it. She could have gone out back and looked at my garden before she rang the front bell.
Well, yes, that is true.
How would I know that Jack's mother exhibits her roses, wins prizes?
Oh, that's true, too, Mother.
Well, there are plenty of ways she could have found out.
Name one. You just named me one.
I could name you half a dozen. You could have asked questions around the neighborhood. And there is a record book of prize winners with stories of their backgrounds, their lives. You could have just made an educated guess.
Personally, I don't think this poor child did any of those things.
Then you explain how she knows.
I can't. No more than she can.
I have. Jack told me about that garden and all about his mother, but, well, it doesn't matter now.
Well, what do you mean, Amy?
I mean, I don't understand it, but obviously Jack doesn't want to marry me. Can't marry me. And regardless of what I think, what I believed happened, and it did, I know it did, it doesn't matter.
Well, where are you going?
Back where I came from, of course, Midvale. Thanks for the tea.
I'll be happy to take your bag to the door.
Now, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Amy, you can't go back to Midvale today.
Why not?
There's only one train from Newark to Midvale. I happen to know because I have a friend I visit in the asylum there. And that leaves at 9:30 in the morning.
Well, I'll stay somewhere. At a hotel.
You do no such thing. You'll spend the night here. With us.
I can't have that. I won't have it, Florence. I'm not letting some tricky little character like her stay the night under my roof.
Mother, we can't put her out. That simply wouldn't be decent. Human. No, I insist. She's got to spend the night. Have a good, refreshing sleep. And then I'll drive her to the station after breakfast in the morning.
I really can't put you out like this.
Not another word, Amy. I won't take no for an answer. Now, let me show you to the guest room. Bring her suitcase, Jack.
Okay.
You come along too, Mother.
You don't need me.
Oh, yes, we do.
What for?
Why, I think it's going to be a chilly night. And you know where the extra blankets are.
So do you, Florence.
Please.
Come on, Mom.
I'm really sorry to bother you like this. And, look, you needn't trouble about an extra blanket. The weather's warm, really.
Here we are.
Oh, wait. Before you open the door.
Yes?
Jack described the room where I'd be staying, the guest room. I can tell you exactly what it looks like.
Oh, you couldn't possibly.
There's a big dormer window, like all old houses have, and chintz curtains.
Good heavens.
A big easy chair with an ottoman. The bed has a canopy, and the rug, it's a woven rug, oval, with a design of roses.
But this is incredible. Oh, Jack, you didn't meet Amy at State Teachers, did you? You didn't propose marriage?
Come off it, Florence.
Well, this is the strangest thing because, well, Amy, you've described the room perfectly. Now here, see for yourself.
Yes. Just as Jack described it.
Well, there's no understanding this. I just can't fathom it. You must have second sight. Or something.
No,
No more talk now. You're tired and upset. And what you need is a good nap. Dinner won't be for several hours. I'll call you when it's ready.
Thank you.
And you can look forward to dinner. We're having steak. New York cut, no less. Jack adores steak. New York cut.
Who's there?
Quiet, Amy.
Jack.
Quiet, I said. Just listen to me, darling.
Darling?
The dearest, most darling girl in the world.
But,
Look, there's no time to explain. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I've got to get you out of here fast. I can't take a chance on my wife waking up and finding me gone.
You are married. Florence is your wife.
Yes, but we did meet, you and I do love you and want to marry you.
Oh, marry me when you're already married?
Please, stop talking. Get this robe on. We've got to move fast.
Where are we going?
Out of this house.
In robe and slippers?
Look, I'll explain later. Come on now, let's go.
Where? Go where, Jack?
Florence.
Your wife, standing in the door with an axe in her hand. Oh, Jack. Jack, what does this mean?
What, indeed, does it mean? Why does Jack want to get Amy out of that house as fast as he can? What is Florence, his wife, doing with an axe in her hand? One thing is virtually sure. However incredible events for Amy have been up to now, they are as nothing to what lies ahead. I'll be back shortly with Act 2. G.K. Chesterton was fond of saying that an adventure was merely an inconvenience viewed in the right light. Perhaps, then, one may say that the incredible is merely the credible viewed in the wrong light. However that may be, to come to the home of a man you expect to marry and to discover him already married, and on top of that, to find yourself facing his wife at 2 a.m. with an axe in her hand.
Really, Amy, Mother was right about you after all. You are playing tricks.
Oh, no, I assure you.
Then what is my husband doing in your room at 2:00 a.m, and you in your nightgown?
I can explain.
Do that, Jack. Please do.
First, give me the axe, Florence.
Tempted to ask where you'd like it. Just explain your presence in Amy's room, Jack.
Well, I thought I heard her cry out. I thought she might be in trouble. I came to see if she was all right.
Just a nightmare, Florence. I had a nightmare.
That's hardly surprising with all you've been through.
Well, I guess so.
Could I have the axe now, Florence?
Oh, of course. Here. You see, I heard you cry out too, Amy.
You did?
Yes. And I thought there might be an intruder in the house. Burglar, something like that.
You keep an axe in your bedroom?
Well, it's an old house. Very old. Our bedroom, Jack's and mine, has a fireplace in it. We keep a small supply of wood there. And sometimes it has to be split. You didn't think I was going to chop you, did you?
No.
Well, Jack and I will go back to our bedroom now. Come, Jack. Oh, and Amy.
Yes?
Try not to have any more nightmares. More toast and marmalade, Amy?
Thank you, no.
Coffee, then.
No, frankly, I'm anxious to get started. Get that train for Midvale. I don't want to miss it.
You won't miss it. Plenty of time.
Well, there really isn't, Florence. There's just under half an hour, and it takes 15 minutes to reach the station.
I know.
So, I think we'd better get started, Amy. Your bag's packed and in the hall, so let's go.
You?
Well, I'll drive her to the station.
I was planning to do that.
No, I'll do it.
No, Jack, no. Waste of gas.
I mean, waste. You take her or I take her? What's the waste?
I have to go into town shopping to do for the weekend. And you don't.
I see.
I can do my shopping at the same time.
Yes, I see.
So that'll mean only one round trip instead of two.
I said I see, Florence.
Saves gas.
Yes.
Well, if we're going to get started...
Oh, but first you must see the rose garden.
No,
yes. I mean, how can you even think of leaving without seeing it? In some unaccountable way, you do know what it looks like, but, well, if I were you, I'd want to see it for myself.
Well, there isn't time.
Of course there is. Take a moment. Let's all go to the rose garden. And aren't these lovely? Hybrid teas.
Yes, but, time...
And this rambler. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yes. Oh, yes, you're certainly to be complimented, Mrs. Morton.
Thank you. Oh, but this isn't her garden, you know. It's mine, really.
But Jack said...
Jack said? Jack couldn't have said anything. Now, could he? Since you didn't meet him till yesterday. Or did you? Did you meet her at State Teachers, Jack?
I've told you I never saw her before in my life.
Yes, but I've been thinking. You know how I am? Always thinking. Sometimes my head aches terribly.
Please, we're going to miss my train.
I think about so many things. I know you take this rose garden. She gets the credit for it. Always has got the credit for it. But I'm the one who designed it, created it, planted it. Even your father had to admit it was beautiful, Jack. Remember?
Yes.
Oh, how that man hated me, reviled me, scorned me. But even he admitted that my rose garden was a thing of beauty.
Florence, we've got to go. Now, if Amy's going to get her train.
Yes. Oh, yes. But first, I wanted to see these floribunda. Aren't they gorgeous?
They are, yes.
Note the deep, dark red of the blossoms. Very dark, very deep red.
Lovely.
Do you know why?
Cultivation, I suppose.
Blood.
Blood?
Mr. Morton's blood. Jack's father's blood. This is where we found him. Hacked to bits.
Oh, Jack.
Easy, Mom. Easy, Mom.
His blood had
Florence,
poured
Florence.
onto the soil. Into it. Saturating it. Would you believe that before that day, these roses had been rather weak, skimpy, subject to all sorts of diseases? But afterwards, they'd literally burgeoned with health and beauty. Would you believe that?
Now, look, whether I believe it or not, we can't stay here another second.
Why not?
My train, that's why not. The only daily train to Midvale. Are you deliberately trying to make me miss it?
But of course not. What a thing to say. I only wanted you to see the rose garden.
Well, now that I've seen it, let's go. Please.
Whatever you say, whatever you say.
I'll go along too, Florence.
You, Mother? Whatever for?
Some shopping myself.
Well, why not? We'll all go together. You too, Jack.
Well, no. I'll stay here.
Not a chance, Jack. Not a chance.
Oh, excuse me, but while we're doing all this talking, time is slipping by. I don't want to miss that train.
Of course you don't. But before we go, I do want you to know, Amy, what a pleasure it's been having you stay with us.
Thank you.
Of course, you haven't enjoyed it. Poor dear. But never mind. You're sure to find a husband so attractive, so pretty.
Could we go now?
Come on, Jack, Mother, Amy, get in the car. We just have time to make the Midvale train. Luckily, as you see, Amy, the garage fronts on the street.
Luckily?
Well, we can drive right out into the street and not waste time. Drive right straight out.
Yes.
Now, if the garage was in the back of the house, waste time, a minute or two, and we don't have it to waste.
Could we get started?
Oh, you are in a hurry.
Well, you said yourself we don't have any time to spare.
That's why you don't have to tell me.
I'm sorry.
I should think you would be. Well, here we go.
Something wrong?
Damp, I guess.
Suppose you let me drive, Florence.
How can you drive, Mother, if the car won't start? All the time to spare and it won't start.
Look, I'll get a taxi.
By the time a taxi gets here, your call and everything, you'd miss the train.
But we're certainly not going to get anywhere this way. The battery's wearing down.
Correction. It's worn down.
Oh, no. Well, that means I'll never make the train to Midvale.
Well, now, I resent that, Amy. You sound as if spending another night with us here would be most unpleasant to you.
Oh, no. No, I didn't mean...
We did try to make everything as pleasant as possible for you. Back in the house, all.
Look, if I went down to the corner and got a cab...
Amy,
Yes?
do as Florence says.
Of course, Jack. Of course.
Out of the car. Back in the house, all.
Oh, look. A taxi. A taxi pulling up right in front. Oh, good heavens. I forgot. Joe.
Joe? Who's Joe?
My brother. All the excitement and all, I forgot. He was coming to give me away.
Okay, driver, thanks.
Oh, no, Joe, wait. Keep that cab. Driver, don't drive off. Wait.
It's all right, driver. Go on.
No, wait. Please wait. Joe, hold that cab.
Amy, what in the world?
Driver, wait.
Go on, driver. Go on. We don't need you.
For criminy's sake, go stay. Go stay.
He's gone. He's gone.
Amy, baby, sis, what is this?
Oh, she's all upset. All upset. I'm Florence Morton. How do you do?
Oh, Joe Prentice, Amy's brother. Amy, what?
You understand, Joe. I may call you Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Amy's all upset. You know how it is, getting married for the first time. Nerves.
Oh, sure.
Joe.
You Jack Morton?
Yes, I am.
Glad to meet you, Jack. Great pleasure. And you're, Jack's sister, huh?
Let's all go into the house. Come on now, come on. Have you had breakfast, Joe?
I had something on the train.
Well, you want more than that. Eggs, bacon, toast, and marmalade, hot coffee. In the house, everybody.
No.
Amy, in the house.
Hey, what's going on here? You're all acting like... Well, I don't know. You're...
Wedding plans, Joe, wedding plans. Everybody uptight. You understand.
Yeah, sure. Florence, is it?
Florence. Everybody in. Everybody in. Well, now, here we are. All together once again.
Joe.
Yeah, Amy?
Joe, there's something crazy going on in this house. Something real crazy.
Now, Amy, honey.
Joe, listen to me. There's something wrong. I don't know what it's all about. I don't know what's happening, but Jack says he never saw me before in his life.
What?
And never proposed marriage to me, and then he did. And his wife, she came to my bedroom with an axe in her hand.
For chimney's sake, hold it. Amy, you're not making sense.
Oh, I know I'm not, because what's happening here, what's happened to me doesn't make sense either.
Will somebody explain this?
I'll explain it. Mr. Prentice, Joe, a mistake of some kind has been made.
A mistake?
Your sister, well, I haven't wanted to spell this out in so many words, but since you're here now and can take care of her, Joe, I'm afraid your sister is crazy.
You're afraid my sister is crazy?
Well, she came here yesterday afternoon, arrived just out of the blue, out of nowhere, saying she'd come to marry my husband.
You don't mean him?
Yes, him. Jack. My husband.
He's your...
My husband, Jack, yes. Somehow your sister has got into her head that they met at teachers' conference, and he proposed marriage, but, well, it's ridiculous.
You, Jack. You say you never met Amy?
No.
Jack, last night in my room,
Now,
you
hold it,
said...
Amy, just hold it. Let me try to get this thing straight. You didn't meet her at a teachers' conference? State Teachers College?
Not me. I'm an insurance salesman.
This is plain screwy.
Amy, if you say you met him and he asked you to marry him, I say you met him and he asked you to marry him. But he says...
I never saw her, talked to her, knew anything about her until she arrived here yesterday.
I see. Well, either you're a liar, Mr. Morton, or you're crazy. If anybody around here has lost his marbles, you have, not her. Now, Amy, what do you want to do about this?
I just want to get out of here.
And that's what we'll do. Where's the phone?
Over there, but I'm afraid
Let me just call a cab and we'll blow.
You can't.
You going to stop me?
The phone's out of order.
Now, we'll see about that. That's all right. No wonder. The wire's been pulled out of the box on the wall. Now, what is going on here? Who pulled those wires out of the box and why? Come on, damn it, answer me. Who and why?
You're like Jack's father, all male. He was a Taurus, a bull, strong, masculine like you. He thought like you.
What are you, some women's liver?
I'm me. I'm Florence Morton. And I don't take anything from you or anybody else. His father learned that the hard way.
What do you mean, the hard way?
She killed him with an axe.
Killed him. Killed him. Hacked him to pieces.
He had to be killed. I certainly wasn't going to live out my life with him dominating me. Stupid, he called me. Stupid. Like that. One day I said to him, "You call me stupid once more and I'll kill you." We're in the garden. Maybe you noticed there's a wood pile in one corner, Amy.
Yes.
And there was this axe he used for splitting wood. You know what he did?
No.
Guess.
Please.
He picked up the axe and handed it to me. "Go ahead," he said. "Kill me, stupid." Was he surprised?
Hacked him to bits. To bits.
Amy, come on. We're getting out of here.
Goodbye, Joe. Goodbye, Amy.
Goodbye. This door's locked. It's bolted on the inside.
Oh, I thought you knew. You didn't see me bolt and lock it when we came in?
All right, give me the key.
So you can unlock it?
What else? Now look, you...
Joe, please, don't cross her. Please, don't cross her. She'll kill us all.
Joe. Joe.
Take it easy, Amy. We're not yet.
Not yet, Joe. Not quite yet.
Ever been face to face with a homicidal maniac? With everything stacked against you? Happily, I never have, and hope you never have either. But Amy and Joe are. And so are Jack and his mother. What I can't figure out is why Jack, with a homicidal wife at home, ever proposed marriage to Amy. Well, we'll have the answer to that when I return shortly with Act 3. Terror can be a thing so palpable you can feel it. Clammy to your touch. Ice cold in your veins. A taste of brass in your mouth. Certainly this is what Amy Prentice feels, along with the Mortons and her brother Joe, as Florence Morton makes all too clear the fact that they are not going to leave the old house on Hilliard Street alive.
Look, Florence, I don't get any of this. I don't get any of it except all this hate you got in you. You can't blame my sister for it, and you can't blame me. So we're leaving now.
No.
Joe, she's got a gun.
I can see that, Amy. Question is, will she use it?
Yes, she'll use it all right. You better understand something, Joe. She's a killer, a homicidal maniac.
And what the hell is she doing here? Why isn't she in an asylum?
She was. She escaped just a day before I got back from the teachers' conference.
Jack.
Amy, I am sorry. So sorry. I pretended I'd never seen you before, tried to get you to leave before you set foot in this house because Florence was right there behind me all the time, and I knew she'd kill you sooner or later. Kill you.
9 years. 9 long years. They kept me in that place. But I knew. I always knew someday I'd get out.
But, Jack, if you're married to her...
No, I'm not. Not anymore. I had the marriage annulled a year ago. The authorities agreed Florence would never be cured.
So where are these authorities now? Didn't they figure she'd head straight for this house?
They telephoned to let me know she'd escaped. Asked me to notify them if she did come here. And all the time I was talking on the phone, she had a gun against my head.
You're going to die. You're all going to die.
Not if I can help it, lady.
You can't help it. There isn't a thing you can do.
We'll see about that. One thing I don't believe in is just standing here waiting for you to kill us. Me, I fight fire with fire.
Oh? And just how do you think you... fight fire with fire? Fire!
Florence, what do you think?
Be quiet, Jack. I'm thinking. Fire. You know, Joe, you've given me the idea I was looking for.
I gave you...
I've been wondering how to kill you all at once. And now I know. Into the kitchen.
What for?
You'll see, Mother. Into the kitchen, all. And now, Jack, dear, loving husband, open the cellar door.
You're taking us down to the cellar?
Putting you down in the cellar, Jack. Open the door. Now, down into the cellar with you. You lead the way, Jack.
Look, Florence.
Don't argue, Jack. Just go.
No, we're not... My leg!
You all right?
Oh, Joe!
You may not be able to fight fire, Joe, but you can't fight bullets.
Oh.
Now, Amy, help your brother down into the cellar.
Joe!
Take it easy.
Oh,
Pain is...
you're bleeding.
I'll be okay.
Oh.
She hit me in the side. Fleshy part.
Better let me have a look at that wound, Joe, okay?
Okay.
Let him bleed to death, Jack. It'll be easier for him. Sorry I can't make it easier for you all.
She's locked us in down here.
Is there another door?
No, there's not even a window. We're trapped. Absolutely no way out.
Is there any way of breaking that door down? Prying it open?
No, Joe, this is an old house. It's built when they really built them. Break that door down. No way.
Oh.
Look, try to hold still. It's not that bad, but it's bleeding quite a lot. I've got to stop the bleeding. Look, Amy.
Yes, dear.
Just around that corner, you'll find a desk.
A desk?
Yeah, I have my office set up there.
Oh.
In the bottom drawer on the right, you'll find a first aid kit. Now, bring it here, will you?
Yes.
Oh, Jack, what are we going to do? How are we going to get out of here?
Mom, if I had the answer to that...
Jack, there's a telephone here on your desk.
Yeah, with the wires pulled out of the wall box. Florence didn't miss a trick.
Oh, yes. Oh, they are pulled out.
Look, hurry with that first aid kit.
Here it is, Jack. Here.
Thanks. Have you patched up in a jiffy, Joe. Though much good it'll do you, I'm afraid.
Don't lose your nerve. Me, I've been in worse binds than this. Vietnam, for one. My work for another.
What do you do, Joe?
I'm a cop, New York City Police Force. Man, I've been in spots that make this look like... Hey, wait. She's up there. That's not the kitchen.
No, it's the living room, right above us.
What was that?
She put something down on the floor. Something heavy and made of metal. What could it be, Jack?
I don't know, unless it's... Wait a minute.
What, Jack? What?
Metal? Fire? I keep a can of gasoline in the garage for the lawnmower.
How big a can?
2 gallons.
Was it full?
I'm afraid so, and I'm afraid I'm right. I smell gasoline.
It's dripping down through the floorboards above us.
She's going to set the house on fire. She's going to burn it down around our heads.
Kill herself, the poor crazy woman. Florence! Florence, listen to me! Florence, you'll kill yourself! Strike a match and the gasoline fumes! The fumes, Florence, they'll explode!
You're right. She lights that stuff. She'll never get out alive.
Florence, will you listen? Will you please listen? Oh, God, she's done it!
A house this old. It'll go up like a haystack, a dry haystack.
We're all going to die. Burned alive.
Oh, no.
We got to try that door. We got to see can we break it down. Jack, give me a hand. We'll both get our shoulders against it. When I give the word...
What?
Forget it. The door's hot already. Flames on the other side. Even if we got it open, we'd never get out. There's got to be something we can do. Got to be.
What are the neighbors?
Neighbors?
They'll see the house burning, call the fire
Well,
department.
what good'll that do us?
They'll rescue us. Get us out of here.
Amy, honey, they don't know we're down here.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Just one chance. Just one chance.
What, Joe?
Telephone.
No. I told you. Florence pulled the wires out of the wall box.
We gotta see, can we connect him again?
You think you can? Or do you?
Jack. Thank God you set up your office down here with a phone. If we can reconnect those wires, let's get this wall box open. You got any tools down here?
Yeah, top drawer of my desk. One of those little kits. Here, what do you want?
There's a screwdriver.
Here you go.
Now, get this lid open. Easy. Yeah, it's coming.
Hurry, Joe, hurry.
There, off of the lid.
Good.
Oh, no.
What?
3 wires. Red, blue, and green. 3 poles to attach them to.
So attach them.
Yeah, but which wire to which pole?
Hey!
Oh, it's falling.
Oh, Joe, try something.
What do you think I'm doing? See. Red to this pole. Blue to this one. Green here. All right, see, can you get a dial tone?
No, nothing. Try again. Joe, move it.
Put the red here. Blue there. And green on this pole. Okay. Anything, Jack?
That's it. I got a dial tone.
Well, use it. Get the operator.
This is your operator. May I help you?
Operator, I'm calling from a burning house. 37 Hilliard Street. The fire department's just arriving, but they don't know we're in the cellar. We're in the cellar. Amy, here. Fire chief just gave me another thermos of coffee. Have some more.
Oh, thanks, Jack. Joe?
I've got Joe in the ambulance unit over there. They're really patching up his leg.
Isn't he wonderful? I think I've got the most wonderful brother in the world.
Well, I think he's got the most wonderful sister in the world.
I'm sorry about Florence.
Lord knows I am too, but it's better this way. Mom, are you okay?
Even the rose garden's gone. The heat killed everything.
Maybe that's better too, Mom.
Oh, how could it be?
How? I'm going to see to it you have another house. Another rose garden. Without the memories that went with this one. Memories we're all going to do our best to forget.
So, what began as mystery, created by Florence Morton, ended as tragedy for Florence Morton. And perhaps for the best, as Jack said. She is at peace now, and if in death she has not found a better world, as we very much hope she has, she's at least out of this one, which brought her so much unhappiness. I'll be back shortly. Jack and Amy Morton are happily married now. Amy no longer teaches, at least not in school, because she has 2 youngsters to keep her more than busy. The boy is named Joe. The girl, Florence. As for Mother Morton, she has another garden, but not roses, vegetables. Well, everything costs so much these days. Our cast included Janet Waldo, Ann Seymour, Lorene Tuttle, Bill Quinn, and Bernard Barrow. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall, setting up shop as usual. And my stock in trade, as usual, is the unusual. I can offer you the unknown, the unexpected, and even the unearthly. It happens. Indeed, it happens to everyone. You find yourself in a strange city, and yet something inside you whispers, I have been here before. You see a strange face, but why is it so oddly familiar? They say history repeats itself. Therefore, we must repeat ourselves. If we are here now, then it follows we have been here before. And we shall be here again.
Come in, sir. Have a seat.
Thank you. You are Senor Barlow?
Yes, sir. Call me Pete. Now, I'd like to show you...
I must make sure that you are Peter Barlow.
You can ask my secretary. I'm Pete Barlow, sales manager for the development. And let me tell you, sir, this is a blue-chip investment. You'll double your money in 5 years.
I have not come here to buy land, Senor Barlow.
You haven't? Then why are you here?
I have come to collect a debt.
A debt?
That is correct, senor.
What do you claim I owe you?
You owe me your heart.
Our mystery drama, The Golden Blood of the Sun, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars John Forsythe and Rita Gam. It is sponsored in part by Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Ladies and gentlemen, today our Man in the Street interview comes to you from Big City, USA. Excuse me, sir. What do you get high on?
I beg pardon?
You know, what do you turn on with?
What, you some kind of a cop? Well, it doesn't make any difference anyhow, because I don't use anything.
Then how do you get high?
Oh, I get high on a lot of things, like seeing my kids start to walk, or the first dandelions in the park, you know.
Anything else?
Yeah, getting tired gives me a high. If it's a tired, from something I like bowling with the guys or taking a long bike ride. But, hey, would you believe polishing my car gives me a high? And it's even legal.
In other words, then it's you get a natural high.
Yeah, natural, that's it. Which, incidentally, doesn't mean that you're high all the time. It'd be unreasonable to expect to be high all the time, you know?
It's like getting high on life.
Sure, but you gotta remember, getting high on life could be habit-forming.
This mini-interview was brought to you nationwide by the New York State Drug Abuse Control Commission.
For the best food anywhere in town, hop in the car and come on down and eat at your Wyatt Cafeteria. There's a handy Wyatt close to you. The food is great.
And thrifty, too.
At your nearby Wyatt Cafeteria.
Eat out at Wyatt's Cafeterias tonight. There's one in your neighborhood.
Oh, my goodness. It's cheaper than eating at home.
Eat at your nearby Wyatt Cafeteria.
Two things will happen to your air conditioning cost if you buy Carrier's Wrong One today. You'll beat the air conditioning price hike, and you'll save up to $72 a year on electricity. But wait, there's more. Carrier's SE Wrong Ones are twice as quiet as any other system on the market, and they're engineered to last. So save some money. Call your Carrier Dependable today.
Call Spencer Air Conditioning and Heating in Irving. Your Carrier Dependable. For immediate installation, call Spencer Air Conditioning and Heating today.
They look down upon us from the walls of the museums, from the ruins of temples, those men and women who came before us in time. And what do we see when we gaze back? What do their faces tell us? We cannot say. Because we no longer dream the dreams, nor do we see the visions of our ancestors. True, the past is preserved for us in stone and in bronze and on canvas, but it is merely the outer shell of the past. Where is the soul, the spirit, the beating heart? Especially the beating heart.
Yeah, the forecast is for rain again this weekend. Well, don't ask me what we're going to do. I'm just giving you the facts. Hold it, Bob, my other phone. Yes, Millicent, what is it? Send him in. Bob, I'll call you back. Right now I have to talk with the golden boy himself. Sit down, Peter.
Mr. Valentine, let's have this out right now. I know you don't like me.
I don't dislike you, Peter.
I know I wasn't your choice for general sales manager.
That's true. Peter, we go by the record. The record shows sales are down. Way down since you took over.
Well, we're selling a sun country resort. We're selling glorious weather. We simply haven't had any of that lately. We've had rain for the past 8 weekends in a row. Now, is that my fault?
Probably.
What are you saying?
Cause and effect. Before you came, we hardly ever had rain. Since you arrived, we've had nothing but. You could very well be a jinx.
Do you mean to tell me that you believe...
Peter, you're not a bad guy. You're even a pretty good salesman, but you're in the wrong place.
You've been trying to get rid of me since the day I arrived.
Peter, why do you insist on making this personal? You just aren't a sun country man. Go back home. You could do great in that ski development area in northern New England.
I can do great anywhere. I can sell anybody. I can sell anything. But I can't sell people if they don't show up. And they won't show up if it rains.
Exactly. Now, why suddenly does it rain here every weekend? The answer is you.
Mr. Valentine, you've stopped being funny.
I'm being scientific.
You have scientifically determined that I am the cause of the weekend rains.
Almost. But in all scientific investigation, a control is needed.
A control?
Exactly. We must establish what happens when you're not here. So take the weekend off.
What?
Go to Mexico City. Have a ball. The company will pick up the tab.
But the weekend is when I should be here selling.
Selling? To whom? Who comes in the rain? Now, this is Thursday, right?
Yes.
Suppose you go to Mexico City tomorrow morning, and we wind up having a beautiful sunny weekend here. Would that prove something?
My contract calls for me to be here every weekend.
If I send you to Mexico City on business...
What kind of business?
There's a Senor Mendoza who owns some property. We may buy it for a resort hotel. Go there. Look it over. Give me your opinion.
Well, I've never been to Mexico City.
Great. You'll have the time of your life. It's just over the mountains. Take the company plane.
I suppose I get there, and it rains here anyhow.
That's what we want to find out, isn't it?
Senor Barlow?
Yes?
Welcome to Mexico City. My father, Senor Mendoza, sent me to meet you.
How do you do?
My name is Irina.
Mine is Peter.
Please come with me. I have the car. You'll be our guest.
Oh, I've made a reservation at our hotel here.
No, my father insists.
Oh, that's very kind of him.
You will be wined, you will be dined, entertained.
That won't be hard to take.
And you will probably decide to advise your company to buy the estate.
What makes you so sure?
Because you will fall in love with it.
How do you know that?
Everyone does. And yet, I hope you will decide against buying it.
You do? Why?
This is the car.
Why do you hope I'll decide against buying it?
Do you like music?
Love it.
Then let's have some.
And now, why do you hope I'll decide against buying it?
I happen to be in love with it.
That's a very good reason.
But we must sell it. We need the money.
Yes, well, money in the end becomes best of all reasons.
Why do you keep staring at me?
Well, was I staring?
Yes.
Well, you're probably the prettiest girl in Mexico City.
You were staring as if you knew me.
Well, how could I know you? I've never been here before.
But I don't understand. That you look familiar to me, too. As if I knew you a long time ago.
Well, I'll tell you what that is. There are just so many basic facial types in the world. So a great many people are going to look alike.
I don't mean that. I have the feeling that I knew you once. Gold Eagle?
Hold my hand, dearest one. Don't be frightened.
Will they kill us, Gold Eagle?
No, they would have killed us during the raid. See, they're being kind to us.
Why? And where are they taking us?
They're taking us to their city, to Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan.
What are you saying?
Who? Me? Nothing.
But you are. You keep on muttering. Tenochtitlan.
What?
Yes, Tenochtitlan.
I can't even say it.
You mean you've never heard that name before?
Is it a name?
Yes, Tenochtitlan. It was the ancient Aztec name for Mexico City.
What is that again?
Tenochtitlan. But why should you keep repeating it over and over?
I've no idea. I guess it's just another one of those crazy things that seems to be happening to me ever since I came to this country.
Irena, Senor Barlow's plate is empty. Please help him to some more.
No, thank you, Senor Mendoza. No more of anything.
If we are going to show Senor Barlow the estate, we should. His time is valuable.
I can assure you, Senor, I'm in no hurry.
The story is told of the gods, the ancient gods of this country, the greatest god of all, the supreme god of the Aztecs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is nothing.
Such a beautiful, delicate coffee cup. I'm so sorry.
But this was its ordained
I don't
fate.
understand how I could have dropped it.
No one lives. Nothing lasts forever.
What? What did you say?
I said, if I can remember. If I can remember. Our lives, Gold Eagle, must reconcile the opposites. Age and youth, good and evil. We are born only that we may die.
But not to die young.
You are willing to die young to defend your city against us? Will you die young for your god?
Tezcatlipoca is not my god. He is the god of the Aztec. He is your god.
He is the supreme god of all Mexico. He is the mighty, the immortal, the magnificent Tezcatlipoca. Come, Gold Eagle. If he needs a few drops of blood, whose blood is it? Yours? It was always his.
I will not accept Tezcatlipoca. I will not.
Another cup of coffee, Senor Barlow?
Senor Barlow? Father, is something wrong with him?
Tezcatlipoca.
Senor.
What is it? Yes.
Why do you keep saying Tezcatlipoca?
What am I saying?
Over and over again, Tezcatlipoca. What does that name mean to you?
Nothing. I don't know who or what it is. I never heard of it.
Tezcatlipoca is the supreme god of the Aztecs.
Really?
The god of the sun.
The sun?
Now, why should you, a perfect stranger in this country, keep saying the name of the ancient sun god? Have you ever studied the history of the ancient Mexican people?
No. Well, the truth is, I'm really not very much of a history student.
While you were saying this name, were you looking at anything?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, it could have been a dream. Therefore, you might have been somewhere talking to someone.
No, wait. I seem to be aware of a golden glow.
And
that's all.
Have you... I don't even know how to say this, but have you had any unusual thoughts about the sun lately?
The sun? It's odd that you should bring that up, but I've been accused...
Yes, you've been accused?
You know the resort that my company is developing in the valley?
Yes.
How often does it rain in that part of the world normally?
Well, a few sprinkles, perhaps, over the course of a year.
There have been steady downpours for the past 8 weekends.
Oh, no. No, I find that impossible to believe.
My project manager holds me responsible.
For the rain?
Yes, the man said that I'm a jinx. He sent me here to prove that with me gone, there'll be sunshine back at the project.
Excuse me. Hello?
Mr. Peter Barlow, please.
One moment. Senor Barlow.
Thank you. Oh, hello?
Peter,
Yeah, oh, yes, Mr. Valentine.
thought you'd want to know. There's been a sudden shift in the weather. Not a cloud in sight. We've got a brilliant gold sun and a deep blue sky. How about that?
How about that indeed? You may say coincidence. Then I may ask, what is a coincidence? Mr. Webster says it's an accidental concurrence of unrelated events. Very good. But is there truly such a thing as an accident? Aren't all things, great and small in this world, somehow tied together? Not by accident, but by design. I shall return shortly with Act 2.
When you feel like having a cold Budweiser, do you automatically reach for a glass? Sure, Bud's a great beer any way you drink it. But without a glass, you're really missing something. Now take that wonderful Budweiser head of foam, for instance. Those bubbles, tiny though they are, still amount to something pretty special at the top of your glass. Taste appeal and eye appeal. 2 results of exclusive beechwood aging and natural carbonation. It takes a lot longer to brew Budweiser that way, but brewing beer right does make a difference that you can taste. That's why when you say Budweiser, you've really said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Stove, refrigerator, dishwasher. You know why most kitchens end up looking just alike? You guessed it. Because most people who design kitchens think just alike. But the thing is that you're not just like everyone else. And with the St. Charles Kitchen through the Brad Pence Company 2821 Ruth, we think and we ask. We think about the woman, or man for that matter, who's going to use the kitchen. We ask how much counter and storage space will be needed, how often meals are prepared, and for how many people. We ask many more critical questions, including whether you're left or right-handed. It's with this advanced planning that you can have top-quality cabinetry and maximum convenience in your kitchen. The conclusion is that this is not the easiest way to design a kitchen, but it explains why most St. Charles kitchens aren't alike. So when it comes to remodeling your kitchen or the design in a new custom home, consult the experts at Brad Pence Company, 2821 Ruth, your exclusive St. Charles designer across from the Quadrangle.
How would you like to be Peter Barlow, a bright young man selling land in a Mexican resort, and discover that somehow you had upset the sun? Well, superstition may be superstition, but evidence is evidence. When Peter is in the area, it rains. When he's absent, there's sunshine. You can count on it. You can predict it. You can even bet on it.
Yes, indeed, Peter. We're having beautiful weather. The crowds are pouring in.
But
I'm already squared it with New York. You've been transferred to the New England ski development.
You mean that the weather is sunny out at the development?
It's gorgeous. How's the weather in Mexico City?
It looks cloudy.
Frankly, Peter, I think you ought to run our hotels in London. See you around.
Bye. Well, I don't know what to say. The weather has just turned great in the valley.
I'm sure it's...
My dear, in this world, can we be sure of anything? I think we had better ride out to the estates.
It's lovely country.
Yes. At one time, my family owned a great deal of it. Now we just have the estate near Cuernavaca. Have you ever been there?
No, I'm afraid I've never even heard of it.
You never heard of the famous Cuernavaca?
No.
Well, perhaps you knew it by its ancient name of Guanajuac.
Well, what makes you think I would know that?
Well, you seem to have a knowledge of ancient Mexican names.
Well, I'm not aware of it. I don't know how.
Think. The name. Guanajuac.
But I never...
Just think.
What are you trying to...
I'm trying to help you.
Help me? To do what?
I don't know. What is it that you feel you must do?
I don't feel I have to do anything.
That is not true.
Why do you say that?
Father?
Yes, my dear?
We'll be passing near the temple. Shall we stop?
Yes. It might be interesting for Senor Barlow.
Well, not much for sightseeing, but if it's interesting...
It does not look like very much right now, but the most dramatic of all the ceremonies took place right there.
Oh, what kind were they?
Human sacrifice.
Sounds barbaric.
In this temple, the high priest of Tezcatlipoca stood ready with the knife made of glass, black glass, and he would cut out the heart of the victim.
That's not barbaric?
Oh, there was no pain. Death was immediate.
But the whole idea
is... Your idea, perhaps. But it was a ritual of a people whose civilization is not to be despised.
There's the temple, Father.
Yes, by the side of the lake. In the old days, they would arrive by boat. A very joyous procession.
That's the temple, that crumbling heap of stones?
It was never a splendid place. It was used just once during the year and for one purpose only. It was never taken care of. Hardly ever repaired. All that was needed was the stairway leading to a chamber at the top where an altar of stone and a priest with a knife of glass waited. Gold Eagle.
Yes.
We have arrived. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Say goodbye now to Soft Cloud.
No, he must not go.
Children, this was agreed to.
Why must he die?
He will not die. He becomes part of the body and the spirit, the flesh and the blood of Tezcatlipoca.
No!
Are you a royal princess or a slave girl? You know your duty.
Don't go, Gold Eagle. Refuse.
Refuse?
They can't compel him.
Oh, yes. Yes, you may refuse, Gold Eagle, and spend the rest of your life as a slave.
But it will be life.
And you will spend every lifetime till eternity as a fugitive from the wrath of Tezcatlipoca.
You have no right to say anything. It is for him to decide.
He has already agreed. Gold Eagle.
His heart will be of no use to Tezcatlipoca if he is not freely given.
The sun is about to reach its highest point. You must decide, Gold Eagle. At this moment, we must know your decision.
Save yourself. Save yourself.
Speak.
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
You interested in seeing the temple, Senor Barlow? Senor Barlow.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Father, what is wrong with
Senor Barlow, are you all right?
I don't know what to do.
It isn't the first time, Father. Sometimes he seems to be off somewhere else and says things you just can't understand.
I don't know what to do.
Senor Barlow.
Well, I must have dozed off.
No, Senor. You were having a nightmare, or was it a hallucination?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Senor, something has happened to you since you arrived in this country?
Yes, I'm sure something has.
Irina, we shall not visit the estate today. Turn back to the city. Senor Barlow must see a doctor.
A doctor? No.
Why not?
Because I'm all right.
Is that true, Senor? Are you really all right?
Well, I find nothing wrong.
Pressure's normal. Pulse, temperature. I've taken some blood tests, but I have no reason to suspect anything.
What is wrong with me, Doctor?
On the face of it, nothing. You seem to be excited.
Excited? That's not the half of it. My whole career is down the drain.
Oh, you're not even 30. How can you make a statement like that?
I staked my future in this development company. I was building toward the top, but now it's all over. I'm through here.
You seem to have an affinity for the old, that is, the pre-Columbian Mexico. And you can't account for it.
No, sir. No way.
When did it start?
When I arrived here a few months ago.
And you heard voices?
Yes, sir.
What were the voices saying?
Well, I seem to have been an Indian, a Quanahuac Indian. Don't ask me what that means. Only ask me where I heard the word. At first, they were just voices, but each day things became more and more clear.
How?
I see things.
Things?
Yes. A valley, a beautiful valley. There were lovely buildings, tall temples, babbling fountains, and everywhere graceful, handsome people. And I see myself walking with a man, an older man, my father.
Remember, my son, we are not warriors. We are singers. We are poets, painters, sculptors, craftsmen.
But the Aztec people, suppose they attack?
Then we shall fight as best we can.
Exactly, Father. Therefore, shouldn't we teach our young men the arts of war?
Gold Eagle, if we do so, then we shall become a nation of warriors. And thus, we shall have lost our culture in any event.
But it seems unfair.
No, the Aztecs will not destroy us. They raid us on occasion only because they must.
They must?
Yes. To keep the sun in the sky, they must sacrifice to him. And the sun god, Tezcatlipoca, accepts only the purest hearts. There are not enough of these among the Aztec people, so they must come to us.
I still say we must fight them.
I agree. But the best way to fight one's enemy is to be better than he is, and more worthy and precious to the gods.
Father, I cannot doubt your wisdom, but...
Doubt, my son. Doubt any man, but not the gods.
I cannot submit to the Aztec calmly.
You must.
I must.
It was foreseen at your birth, my son, that you would become a true child of Tezcatlipoca. Your blood would be his.
Me? A sacrifice to Tezcatlipoca?
We must not say sacrifice. A better and truer word would be gift. Yes, my son.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Don't understand.
Peter.
No, I don't understand.
Peter?
Yes, what is it?
Where were you?
Where was I?
Yes. For at least a minute, your mind was somewhere else. Are you going to tell me you don't know?
Well, it's too fantastic. You wouldn't believe it.
Try me.
I was in Quanahuac, the place I told you about.
Yes?
I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm everything a young prince should be. That's why my name is Gold Eagle. I soar above the crowd.
Well, that's a happy situation.
No, it isn't, because I'm fated to be captured by the Aztecs and sacrificed to the great god Tezcatlipoca.
At least that's a figment of your imagination.
How do I know so much about the mysterious past of a strange, unfamiliar country?
Well, there's a rational explanation.
Yes, what is it?
I don't know.
Well, then how can you say it?
The fact that I can't come up with an explanation right now doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, does it?
Doctor.
Yes?
Look outside your window. What do you see?
It's raining. Oh, but that's impossible. We never get rain this time of year.
And I'll tell you something else. It'll rain for as long as I'm here. The sun god is angry.
gets in deeper and deeper, doesn't he? For a man who's never been in this part of the world before, he seems to know quite a bit about its past. But hold on. Who says he's never been here before? We only have his word for it. But how does he know? I'll return shortly with Act 3.
Now, one of television's and motion picture's most popular stars, speaking from Hollywood, on the set for Your United Way.
This is Greg Morris. I think the thing that impressed me the most is the fact that we are getting mileage out of the dollars that we contribute to United Way. People are receiving professional care through United Way, which is the most economical way to give. You see, when you combine all of these agencies into one campaign, more of the dollars that you give actually go to the people who really need the money. Now, that makes no difference who you are, what color your skin is, what country your father came from. It's for all people. In our town, United Way is there when you need them. None of us is immune to the problems of alcoholism, mental health, kids mixed up with dope, crippled babies. So give your fair share. Thanks to you, it's working. The United Way.
We make saving easy for you.
Many customers tell us at Richardson Savings they like to do business on Saturdays. So we keep our Valley View Shopping Center office open every Saturday, 9 till 6. No matter which of our 7 convenient offices you normally use, you can make savings deposits and withdrawals, apply for loans, or cash checks on Saturdays at Richardson Savings Valley View Mall office. We're near the Preston Road entrance, making savings easier for you.
Suddenly, there are visions of a past, a splendid but barbaric past. Why should a young American, with no real interest in anything else except a career and the normal things young men are concerned with, why should he suddenly see himself as a tragic Indian prince, a designated victim of an Aztec sacrifice? Why? Well, it's always easier to ask a question than to answer it, no?
I know myself, Doctor. I know that I'm not the kind of a person who gets delusions.
Actually, Mr. Barlow, you are.
Doctor, it's raining. I'm a very down-to-earth guy who knows...
People like you are the ones who crack up first.
What do you mean, crack up?
Crack up, break down, it all comes to the same thing.
But I'm perfectly...
Yes? Perfectly what? Now, come now, Mr. Barlow. What's this nonsense about being in disfavor with the sun god and thereby causing rain?
The fact is, I am in disfavor with the sun god.
Well, let's hear those facts.
Now, I know why. You see, the Aztecs did attack Cuauhnahuac. One night, when we were sleeping peacefully, they descended upon the city. I was taken prisoner.
What are you telling me?
I remember now. Prisoner. But I wasn't beaten. I wasn't tortured. I was treated like a prince. And I was taken to the high priest of the Aztecs.
Welcome, Gold Eagle.
You know my name.
Your name is known throughout Mexico. Will you give me your blessing?
What?
May I have your blessing?
My blessing? I'm your prisoner.
No, not a prisoner, Gold Eagle, but a guest. An honored guest. A divine guest.
Me?
Surely, Gold Eagle, you must know the prophecy. You are the earthly body of Tezcatlipoca.
No. Oh, no.
And this year you shall dwell among us to guide us, advise us, even rule us.
I don't understand.
Why not? You have his heart.
But
And at the end of the stated here as it is commanded, you shall return his heart to him.
Holy One, you must listen. I am not worthy
You
of such...
are modest, which is good.
But suppose I refuse?
How can you refuse? Why should you refuse? We only live because the mighty sun god gives us his blood. Is it unreasonable to give him a few drops of ours in return?
But suppose I still refuse?
Then live your life, whatever shall be left of it, as a slave in the mines, shunned and despised.
Yes? Go on, Mr. Barlow.
And in the end, I agreed. I agreed to live as a hero. I was adored by an entire nation. Well, what's the point? You don't believe a word of it.
Do you?
If it didn't happen, where is it coming from?
Well, as I say, there has to be a rational explanation.
Let me ask you something. This old religion, does it still exist?
I don't have any hard evidence one way or another. But,
But what?
No religion ever dies out completely, especially one that had such a powerful hold over so many people.
Then what you're saying is that there still could be some of this sun worship around here today.
A form of it, perhaps. Blended with the religions that came after it. Adapted to more modern times, of course.
Then there could be priests of this religion who
what?
Who could be working on my mind somehow.
Tell me how.
I don't know how. Hypnotism, this whole thing about transfer of thoughts, you know, ESP.
Well, granted for the sake of argument, but how would they know about you? You, Peter Barlow.
I don't know. And it seems to me that I came here for answers, not for questions. Thank you for picking me up, Irina.
My father wants you to come back to the house. He believes you should do nothing. Just rest.
I hate to impose.
Oh, it's nothing. It makes him very happy. But I will say something else.
Yes?
I will say you must not come back.
No?
No. Please, let me drive you to the airport.
The airport? But why?
You must get board a plane at once.
What is it, Irina?
Leave this country.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because I love you.
You... What?
I love you.
But we only met yesterday.
No, I have always loved you.
Always? What do you mean by always?
My name is Soft Cloud.
Soft Cloud? How would you know the name?
I was given to you as a gift.
The gift?
That year of splendor. You could choose among all the princesses of Mexico for your consort. You chose me. You remember?
I'm going crazy.
None of this is a dream. Gold Eagle.
Gold Eagle? You even know that?
I have lived through it also. When the year ended, I couldn't bear to give you up. Give you up to the knife of black glass and the sacrifice, so I persuaded you to refuse.
I remember. I went into the mines.
And I went with you.
And it wasn't long before I was no longer handsome, and you were no longer beautiful.
I remember.
And I died very soon after. I was very young, I remember.
Yes.
What am I saying I remember for? I don't remember any of it. This is just some funny fantasy running through my brain. That's it. It's a fantasy, a hallucination.
No.
My name is Peter.
Peter.
No.
Once again, I ask you to refuse the knife.
What knife?
The sharp, black knife of glass that will enable your heart to be offered to the sun god.
Who's going to do that?
The high priest of the Aztec.
But that stuff died out hundreds of years ago.
Let us go to the airport. Peter, please. This time there are no mines, no slaves. We can live happily, perhaps this time.
I tell you what we should do. We should turn around and take you back to the doctor.
If you stay here, you'll die. Come in. I'll turn on the light.
What's in here?
Look.
Well,
It's the chamber of the high priest himself. See? Here are the ceremonial headdresses, the robes, the ornaments of gold, and there
I see.
is the knife, the sharp and pointed knife of black glass.
To whom do these things belong?
I told you, Peter, to the high priest.
You talk of him as if he's still alive.
Still alive and very much alive. He's my father.
Your father? I don't believe any of this.
Peter, if you stay here, you'll die.
I can protect myself.
You will die willingly.
Oh, no, never.
It will seem right. You will become anxious to die. Please, Peter.
Peter. Interesting place, no?
Yes, sir.
It is my private museum. As you can see, so many of the artifacts of a forgotten civilization.
Forgotten?
Well, let us say, past.
I quite frankly don't know what's happened to me. Actually, since I came to this country, I'm not even sure who I am. Sometimes
How many people really know who they are?
Your daughter tells me that my life is in danger.
Danger?
Yes, that I'll die if I stay here. What do you say to that?
That depends on what you mean by die.
Look, I was sent here to examine an estate you have for sale. May I see it now?
Are you well enough?
I'm fine, just fine. Somehow I got mixed up with some superstitious nonsense, but I can shut that out of my mind. Let's go.
As you wish.
Now, as I understand it, the estate is well over 1,000 acres.
Yes.
It has a lake.
Yes.
And that means a golf course could be...
Irina, my dear.
Yes, Father.
Stop here, please.
Why, Father?
Why? Isn't it obvious?
Father, no.
Why did we stop?
Look. Over there. To your left.
It's the temple.
I still don't know why we stopped.
To complete your bargain with the sun god.
Bargain? What bargain?
To pay your debt.
You're crazy.
Or am I? Come. Put on this white robe, this pure white robe, and we shall mount these steps to the sacred chamber.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him, Gold Eagle.
Gold Eagle?
Yes, my son. You are Gold Eagle, and she is Soft Cloud, and I am the High Priest. And the three of us have been here before, and all of us have played our roles before. Come. Follow me. I am waiting.
Don't go. Don't go.
This is what she must say to you. She represents the flesh, the present, the here, the now. She is the temptation of the world. She is being true to her mission. She has convinced you in the past, so many times in the past.
What do you mean, so many times?
The first time, when I was the Aztec high priest, and you were the golden captive of the Quanahuac. There have been other times since then. Do you remember?
No.
Tezcatlipoca waits. He has given you his blood, his heart. He waits for you to return. He waits through all your lifetime.
No!
Soft Cloud. Irina. I love you, but I'm tired of escaping. I want to go back.
No.
Back where I belong, back to Tezcatlipoca.
Come with me.
Come with me, my son. Put on your white robe.
Gold Eagle.
Remember the first time, Soft Cloud. We came by boat, and the people followed us along the shore. And there was singing and cheering. For me, Tezcatlipoca. For me, the sun god. I was to return to my place in the sky.
Peter, please.
See the clouds? I must return.
My son, let us walk up the steps together to the sacred chamber.
Do you have the knife of black glass?
It is in my robe.
I give it my blessing.
The sun is starting to break through the clouds.
Very soon now, I shall be back in the sky. Priest, let us go forward. Priest, I have had a strange vision. I dreamed I had refused to be sacrificed.
You, gold digger? Impossible.
I dreamed I was born again. In the future.
Indeed. A dream?
The future is a place of many wonders. And I had believed that the sun god no longer ruled. And then one day, he called to me.
Have you ever doubted the sun god?
Never.
We are here, gold eagle.
Be quick, priest. Be quick.
Hello?
Hello, is Peter Barlow there?
Who?
Peter Barlow.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's no such person here.
Is this the home of Senor Mendoza?
Yes, I'm his daughter, Irina.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I sent him to see your father's estate.
I know nothing about that.
I called him there the day after he arrived. I spoke with him.
That's impossible, Senor. My father and I have been in Europe. We only returned home last evening.
But I made arrangements with Senor Mendoza for Mr. Barlow to see the estate.
I'm sorry, Senor. You must be mistaken.
Peter Barlow disappeared. He was never seen or even heard of again. And we really don't know what happened. Maybe the old religion survives. Or maybe Peter may have looked at Trina in a way that old man Mendoza didn't like. What's positive is the fact that this is a world of endless possibilities. The only sure thing is that I shall be back shortly.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love. But give your code to contact. The sooner the better.
The common cold is a rotten thing. You miss so much. Sneezing, drips, and congestion can drag you down. Then ask yourself the contact question. 6 or 3 or 1. You'd need 6 cold tablets, 2 every 4 hours, or 3 ounces of Cold's liquid, 1 every 4 hours, or just 1 contact for up to 12 hours continuous relief of those symptoms. That's daytime, then nighttime relief. Both the others have things for aches and fever, and the liquid, something for coughs. Not found in Contact 600 tiny type pills.
Give your code to contact.
6 or 3 or 1. Take Contact. Only as directed. They were another people, those who lived in the past. They were powered by other drives, other forces. They were people of faith, people of vision. Everything they built was for the glory of their gods. They will be remembered for their magnificent temples and their enduring belief. And what shall we be remembered for? Our cast included John Forsythe, Rita Gam, Arnold Moss, and Barry Kroger. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
What do you want? I want things as they are right now. I don't know what that means. I want you to keep living in fear, filled with fright, worrying, wondering what I'm going to do about you. That's all you want? It's enough. Why? What did I ever do to you? What did you ever do to me? Oh, how dare you ask that? I ask because I don't know. You killed a man I loved. The man you love? You killed Scott Partridge.
He didn't even know you were alive.
Does that matter? Can you live without the sun? Does the sun know you're alive?
You loved Scott?
Love? Oh, what a weak, fragile word. I adored him. I worshipped him. And you killed him.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Shopping Skaggs Albertsons is a family affair. Skaggs Albertsons puts it all together, food and drug with one central checkout. Skaggs Albertsons features a complete line of stationery and school supplies. Skaggs Albertsons and Skaggs Drugs carries a complete selection of Papermate products. Papermate, famous for dependable, long-lasting ink pens. All 18 Skaggs Albertsons and Skaggs Drugs in the Metroplex also feature the new Papermate Flair line of no-toxic color markers. Skaggs Albertsons and Skaggs Drugs, the drug people who care about you. Rely on it.
KRLD, Dallas.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. And it's time, once again, for that voyage we take together through those dark and hidden recesses of our own imagination. A philosopher tells us that by an accident of fortune, a man may rule the world for a time, but by virtue of love, he may rule the world forever. Love. There seems to be so much love all around us. It appears to grow wild, like some exotic plant in a tropical jungle. And yet, with so much love everywhere, why are so few of us kings?
No, I don't paint anymore.
But you're such a fine artist, you should.
No, you see, I put someone down on canvas, and it's not just his likeness. It's also...
Yes. It's also...
It's also his personality. And so, he will convey to the viewer some of his innermost secrets.
I don't believe that's possible.
Yes. The canvas will not conceal any of his secrets. It will betray everything, even if he has committed murder. Now, shall I paint your portrait?
No. Oh, no.
Our mystery drama, Sister of Death, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars K.T. Stevens. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One. If a stranger were to stop you on the street and say, "Here, for you, is a $100 bill. Take it. It's yours. No strings attached." what would your instinctive reaction be? Would you reply, how generous, 1,000 thanks? Probably not. You would more likely say, what's in it for you? Or, what are you selling? Or, need it before I call a cop. And with good reason. So many of us have become rather sharp-nosed and narrow-eyed. But here and there is still the occasional optimist, the rare believer in the goodness of man, the exceptional, kind-hearted, trusting soul who simply refuses to recognize evil. You're about to meet one of them. She's young and pretty.
Oh, I got $70, Vince. $70. Who'll give me 75? 75? Do I hear 75? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this magnificent portrait in oils. It cannot be sold for $75. It can only be stolen.
$72.50.
$72.50. A young lady with the courage of an ancient Amazon warrior.
Do you accept my bid?
Do I accept your bid? $72.50, ladies and gentlemen. Shall you stand by and see the crime of the century perpetrated? Will no one say 75?
75.
Dear lady, you must not bid against yourself.
Oh.
Very well, my friends. Let it be on your own consciences. 72.51. 72.50 twice. So, 72.50.
You mean it's mine?
Yes, dear lady, it's yours. It's all yours.
Well, what is this fantastic bargain, Anita?
Tilly, just wait till you see it.
Oh, where is it?
I even knew exactly where I wanted to hang it.
Hang it? Oh, is it a picture, Anita?
Oh, nobody can ever keep a secret from you.
What kind of picture is it?
Tilly, it's the buy of the century.
Who painted it?
Well, it wasn't anyone you might have heard of. It's Corral.
Corral?
Mm-hmm. He signs his name in big letters.
Is his first name Sebastian?
Sebastian? How did you know?
Sebastian Corral.
Oh, you heard of him. You actually heard of him.
Anita, where's the painting?
You'll never guess.
Anita, let me look at the painting.
Come upstairs. I put it in the bedroom. It just seemed to belong there.
$72.50 for a Sebastian Corral.
And you never even heard of him, which means he's not just someone known.
So that's where all that promise ended up.
And as we say, voila. Behold. Magnificent painting. Well, say something. The minute I saw this painting, I knew I'd have to buy it. Do you know why? Because I felt I knew this girl. Oh, it's ridiculous. I never saw her before in my life, but I feel we're friends. She looks as if she's trying to tell me something. Anita, I am in the title. How do you account for the title? Young lady with a fan. That's what fascinates me. She's the last person in the world you'd expect to have a fan. She's actually wearing a tennis outfit. And she's holding this beautiful, delicately carved ivory fan. How do you like her?
I'm not sure I know what to say.
Tilly, you're so pale. What's wrong?
Maybe I shouldn't tell you anything.
You're so serious. What is it?
The girl...
The girl?
The woman in that painting, it's Alma.
Alma?
Oh, that's right. You couldn't have known her.
Who is Alma?
Well, your husband's first wife. I remember when she posed for that portrait.
Who did you say she was?
Alma. I often wondered what had become of the painting.
Did you say she was Herbert's first wife?
And at the time, Herbert didn't like the idea of her posing for Sebastian Corrali. You knew that Herb had been married before. I'm sorry. It's all right. Well, I just naturally assumed that he would have...
As a matter of fact, now that you mention it, he did tell me.
Anita.
It just slipped my mind for a moment, I guess.
Darling, you don't have to protect everybody all the time against everything.
I can understand why he wouldn't tell me.
Can you?
Herbert is an incurable romantic. We both feel as if our lives really began the day we met, and that nothing in the past is material or relevant or of any importance.
But, dear, your lives didn't begin the day you met, and there was a past, and it did shape your existence.
Tilly.
Yes?
Maybe I shouldn't ask, but...
You want to know about Alma?
Yes.
Not nearly as pretty or as charming as you.
Oh, I don't mean that. Where is she now?
Oh. She's, dead.
Dead?
Yes. She was killed.
Oh, how awful.
She was murdered. She was in this room.
No.
She was all alone. Herb was out of town. It was a robbery. Evidently, she come home and surprised the thief, or he had surprised her.
Did they ever catch?
No. It remains unsolved.
And you say the place was robbed?
Oh, yes. Everything of value, jewels, silver.
Did the police ever find any of it?
No.
And it happened right here in this room?
Right here. It's a little scary because the painting was hanging on the wall just where you have it hanging now exactly. It's quite a coincidence.
I suppose you could say the painting saw it all.
In a manner of speaking, you could say that.
The painting is a witness. She actually saw herself being killed.
Anita, really?
Well, it's true, isn't it? You look into those eyes, and they look back into yours, and they seem to want to say something.
If they ever do, let me know what. But right now, the important thing about that painting is...
What am I going to do about it?
Yes. What are you going to do about it?
I shouldn't let Herb know.
Why not?
It would be too embarrassing, too painful.
I still say Herbert should have told you he'd been married before.
I only know that Herbert and I are very happy.
All this nonsense about Herb being a romantic. I should think that Herb neglected to tell you something that was very vital.
But it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, sure. The fact is you're afraid to raise an issue. If you don't want to open up a giant-sized can of worms, you'll just have to get rid of the portrait.
I know, but...
Yes, but...
I think that would be... Don't laugh.
I won't.
I think that would be cruel.
Cruel?
Because she's not just some figment of an artist's imagination.
No, she's not.
She isn't even a strange woman. She was someone who lived here, who died here. This is her home. How can I throw her out?
It's a rather unique view.
But it's my view.
However, you must do something.
I know. I'll have to think.
You better start thinking right away. It's getting on toward 5 o'clock.
Then, will you please get out of here and give me a chance to collect my thoughts?
Yes, that's certainly what Anita needs. A chance to think and collect her thoughts. Why don't we all give her that opportunity? Why don't you listen to some extremely provocative thoughts on some other important subjects? And I'll bring Anita and her problem back here in just a few moments with Act 2. There is a fresh new spirit sweeping the land. A free spirit that demands good products. Products that satisfy your sense of good taste and desire for economy. But above all, products that perform. Buick has been touched by this spirit. And this year, our crisply designed, solidly built Buick will bring joy even to the most demanding of free spirits. The 1975 Buick, dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone.
This is Lloyd Nolan. My son Jay was physically perfect. I guess he was about 2 years old before we realized that anything was wrong. At first, we thought he was deaf. That's what the parents of most autistic children think. At that time, I don't think we knew any parents of an autistic child. It would have been a great blessing to us to have had a National Society for Autistic Children. Support the National Society, Box 8646, Albany, New York, 12208.
A young lady named Anita Sutliff was very much taken with a painting at an art auction. So she bought it. Immediately after, she discovered by accident that the painting is a portrait of her husband's former wife, Alma. And it seems that Alma had been murdered during a robbery at the house. All this would be shocking enough, but you must also consider one additional fact. Anita didn't know that her husband, Herbert, had been married before.
Penny, for your thoughts, darling.
Oh, my thoughts aren't very deep. I must have been daydreaming.
Oh, about what?
Nothing. Nothing, really.
The fish is excellent, darling.
Thank you. Did you have a hard day?
Oh, they're all hard.
Poor Herb.
Why do people lie all the time? A man says he wants a safe, conservative investment. It's a lie. What he really wants is a stock that will double itself in 6 months and pay a 20% dividend, tax-free.
Oh, darling, I'm sure people must be more reasonable than that.
When it comes to money, no one's reasonable. Some of the people who walk into my office, never bring these things home with me.
But, Herb, there's no reason why you shouldn't share.
Darling, this place to me is a citadel. It's where two unusually blessed people live in complete faith and love and harmony. Darling, you do love me, don't you?
No matter how many times you ask, the answer will always be yes.
I look at you and I say, no two people have ever been so close, so completely as one, so open, so free. No secrets between us.
No secrets.
No secrets. Yes, dear?
Would you care for some coffee?
No, I've had enough. Who do you suppose that is?
Probably Tilly.
Tilly? Oh, I'm in no mood for her tonight.
But, darling, she's your cousin.
Hi.
The door was open. Our things?
I think I have a headache.
Oh, darling, there's some aspirin.
I'll just go upstairs and lie down. Will you excuse me?
I just couldn't stay away. I'm sure of it. Has he been upstairs since he came home?
No.
Oh, when he walks into the bedroom, wow.
No. Nothing will happen.
But when he sees the pain,
he won't see it. It isn't there.
Anita, you copped out.
No. I decided what was more important.
Okay. Where is the painting?
In the attic.
The attic?
Herb never goes up there, and I can decide what to do about it later. But I couldn't decide what to do about it. And the reason was, I'd go up to the attic when Herb was away at the office. And I'd take the painting out from behind a partition where I'd hidden her. And I'd look at it. At this woman who had once been to Herb what I am to him now. His wife. And she would look at me, and at first I thought it was my imagination, but the expression in her eyes would change. I know it's impossible. What's once sent down in paint is frozen forever, but her look would change. Sometimes it would be a look of terror. Sometimes it would be a look of concern, and then it would be questioning, as if she wanted to ask me something, or tell me something. Tell me something.
Anita, rush the net quicker! Oh, there's another way to hit it. You have to hold the ball. I really would like to learn to play this stupid game.
Why? So I could surprise her. It would please him. It would be something else we could do together.
You better rest for a few minutes. You can't learn the game in one day.
All right. Tilly, whatever happened to that artist?
Sebastian Corral? I heard he went mad.
Is he still alive?
I wouldn't know.
How could I find out?
Why?
There's something I want to ask him about the portrait.
What?
How he could manage to make the facial expressions change.
That has nothing to do with him. You're the one who's doing that.
But I tell you, every time I look at that painting...
I know. But you must either confront Herb with the painting.
That word confront.
Or you must get rid of it and put it from your mind.
You make everything sound so grim.
Why do you keep asking about the artist?
I'm just curious. You said Herb didn't like the idea of Alma's posing. Why?
He was jealous. Look, did we come here to play tennis?
How did the painting eventually wind up at the auction? Was it stolen that night?
No. Herb, I guess, couldn't stand the sight of it, so he just got rid of it. He gave it back to Corral.
But why?
I don't know. If you want an answer to most of your questions, you'll just have to ask Herb.
Hello. Remember me?
Who could ever forget you? The young lady who lives so dangerously. Can you imagine $72.50 for a Sebastian Corral?
Would you know him? Corral?
No. But one of America's foremost painters, he is not, or was not, whatever the case may be.
Then you wouldn't know where I could find him.
I bet you're wrong. I know exactly where you can find him.
You do?
Poor lad. He's in the state asylum, and he's bankrupt. Whatever he's got is being sold at auction. I come into it because all he's got is a couple of paintings.
The state asylum.
Yeah, that's how it goes, especially with artists. A painter, he's good, but not really good enough. It drives him crazy. You know why? Because his hand doesn't have the exact skill to put down what he sees in his head.
Thank you, nurse. I see him. Mr. Corral? Hello, Mr. Corral.
Who are you?
I thought we might chat.
I don't know you. What do you want?
I own one of your paintings.
I don't paint anymore.
I like this painting very much. It's called Young Lady with a Fan.
How is Alma?
Alma's...
Oh, don't say that. Don't say she's dead.
But...
Everyone says she is dead. But don't believe it. Alma was just with me. Right now, she's out playing tennis, but we are having dinner together tonight.
You actually see Alma?
Oh, yes. We live here together.
But Alma...
I know. Sutcliffe killed her. But it's all right. She's here now, with me. I don't paint anymore.
Why do you say Herb killed her?
He was jealous. Oh, she hated that fan. And he said, if you won't pose with that fan, I won't commission the picture.
Why? Why would he say that?
I don't know. He's crazy. Is he dead now, too? It does not matter. So she said, Alma said, I loathe that damn fan. Don't paint me in a tennis outfit so it'll look ridiculous.
But what was there about the fan?
I don't know. If you ask me, I think he killed her for the money.
What money?
Who are you?
I just wanted to meet you, Mr. Crow, and...
Is that my name? Sometimes I forget. Why would you want to meet me? Are you dead, too?
I left him. Went home. I went upstairs to the attic, and I looked at the portrait. The portrait of Alma. The young lady with the fan. And she was singing. Their eyes were very large, and it seemed that they were brimming with tears. Of course, it was my imagination, but it seemed that those tears were for me. For me. It was almost as if she was speaking to me, telling me something. Telling me to do something. What is it that I'm supposed to do? And then the voice. It was either on her lips or in my brain. And it said, police. But why? Police, but what am I supposed to say? Lieutenant Tannenberg?
Please sit down, ma'am. What can I do for you?
My name is Anita Sutcliffe.
Sounds familiar. Let me try to place it.
According to the newspaper reports 5 years ago...
Yeah. Mrs. Herbert Sutcliffe was murdered by a burglar. You must be the new Mrs. Sutcliffe.
I read where Detective Sergeant Tannenberg was the investigating officer.
Yeah, I was on the case. Well, what can I do for you?
Is the case closed, Lieutenant?
No unsolved murder case is ever officially closed. If you mean, is anyone currently working on it, the answer is no. It's inactive.
Oh.
Would you have any new evidence that could merit further active investigation?
No.
Well, then how can the police department help you?
I don't know. I just thought I wanted to find out what had happened there that night. And since you were the police officer...
I assume you read the newspaper accounts?
Yes. I looked up and...
Well, it's all in there. Neighbors thought they heard suspicious noises. We responded, found Mrs. Sutler dead in her room. There'd been a struggle. The place was cleaned out. We had no leads. That's all I can tell you.
How was she killed?
He shot her.
Oh.
And I'm afraid I have no more definite information.
A list of things that were taken. Was it given to the police?
Oh, yes. And we circulated that list among various places that would buy valuables.
Did anything ever show up?
None of our sources ever reported anything.
This list, is it still in existence?
Why do you ask?
I don't know.
Yes, it's still in the files.
I'm sorry I took up so much of your time, Lieutenant.
I hope I've been of service.
Take my advice. Keep away from the police. Tilly, all I did was ask about the murder. Why?
Well, it happened in my bedroom. I'm curious.
You should never appear to be curious when there's an unsolved murder.
Why?
Because that, in turn, arouses the curiosity of the police.
But it might do some good if they did become curious.
No, dear. Not if they become curious about you.
Lieutenant Tannenberg. Oh, yeah, Chappie. Yeah, I did call. You remember the Alma Sutliff thing? You and I went out on it 5 years ago. Well, the new wife was just here. And guess what she wanted to know? Is there still a list of the stolen stuff? In other words, is it still hot? Very big, innocent eyes. If she could have been in on it. Well, I checked. He married her 3 months after he buried the first one. How grief-stricken could he have been?
Yes, you go about what you think are your own private and personal affairs, matters which concern nobody but you, and then, without ever being aware of it, you can reach the crucial point where you no longer control the situation. And you have no way of knowing that something you thought was strictly your own business has suddenly and ominously become official business. Official police business. I shall return shortly with Act 3.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablets?
No, sinus medicine. Sinus tablets. Help the headache and the pressure.
Oh, you mean sign-off.
Exactly.
Headache pain is one thing. A sinus headache is something else. Sometimes your whole face can seem to throb with pain. You want relief. Take Sign-Off tablets. SINEOFF. The sinus medicine that gives you a full dose of pure aspirin plus a sinus drainer. Sign-Off. The sinus medicine that helps relieve sinus pain while you drain. And Sign-Off doesn't stop there. Have you tried Sign-Off Sinus Spray, the fastest known form of sinus congestion relief? It works in seconds. That's Sign-Off Sinus Spray. When sinus flares up, use Sign-Off tablets and spray only as directed.
SINEOFF.
Sign-Off.
Exactly.
Sign-Off, the sinus medicines in the bright red box.
Did you know that more children die from being hit by automobiles than from any other cause? 10,000 pedestrians and cyclists are killed, and another 500,000 are injured in our country every year. And most of these casualties happen to children, especially after dark. There is something to keep your children safer after dark. a safety kit of Hot Dots reflective stick-ons that give off a blast of light. Drivers can see them from 600 feet away. Protect your children at night and on dark school mornings. Stick Hot Dots on bicycles, clothing, books, lunchboxes. Get your Hot Dots kit free at Northwest Federal Savings, 1 block west of Cicero Avenue on Irving Park Road, or in Des Plaines and Dempster Street, just east of the Tri-State Tollway. But hurry, our supply is limited. A message from Northwest Federal Savings to help keep your children safer after dark.
This is WBBM Chicago. Relationship between two human beings is an unbelievably complex cradle of attitudes, ideas, privileges. And very early in the game, each person learns that if the relationship is to endure, certain actions must be overlooked. Certain questions must never be asked. Certain boundaries may never be crossed, or else the intricate web will come apart, never to be spun again.
Darling. Yes?
I think you should see a doctor.
Oh, but Herb, I feel fine.
Then you look so pale lately, and you seem to be so nervous.
I can't imagine why.
Darling, I want you to take care of yourself.
But Herb, I do.
Anita, I love you so much. If anything ever happened to you, I don't know what I'd do.
What could happen to me?
Oh, darling, it's such a crazy world, filled with such mad people. If only we could shut it all out and live by ourselves, for ourselves.
I couldn't keep away from that portrait. She was a stranger. It was as if she was my sister. Because between us was a bond stronger than blood. Our bond was a man. The same man. And so my days were spent more and more in the attic. Herbert would leave. I would go upstairs. I would look at Alma. She would look at me. And there was communication between us. You say poor Anita. What did you say? I'm dreaming this. No, I won't believe it. Ready for what? But he loves me. But you had money. I had no money. No. I spoke to Corral. Sebastian Corral. You were having an affair with him. And now you're jealous of me. You're trying to reach out from the grave to destroy Herbert's new marriage. Why? I have no money. I was so upset, so terrified, so absolutely distraught. I did something for the first time. I actually went to Herb's office in the middle of a business day.
Feeling better, darling?
So much better. Your secretary makes excellent coffee. I'm sorry I barged in on you.
Well, I understand that's what husbands are for. Whatever gave you such a fright?
Nothing, just nerves.
You must see a doctor.
You're the best doctor. All I need is you.
And all I need is you.
Oh, Herb, I'm so happy when I'm with you. I'm so happy. But I'd better leave so you can sell some stocks and bonds.
Oh, incidentally, what are you doing this afternoon?
Nothing.
Oh, then you can see this doctor.
I feel fine.
Oh, this is something else.
Oh?
There's insurance. You know, we have to think about.
Insurance?
Well, my company has a great husband-wife policy. I can get $75,000 worth of life insurance for you attached right onto my own. But, darling, there's no reason why you shouldn't have insurance, is there? Well, is there?
But there is no reason why I shouldn't have insurance. Stop that. No. No.
Happy birthday, darling.
Oh, it is my birthday.
Anyone else saying that would sound phony, but I believe you. I actually believe you didn't know it was your birthday.
Darling, the urge to forget becomes stronger as we grow older.
Yes, that's true, but I'm afraid there's something else.
Something else?
These past weeks, you've been so preoccupied.
Have I?
Well, you won't go to a doctor.
But I did. I had my insurance exam. The doctor said I was fine.
Well, this must be a night for pure enjoyment.
Yes, darling.
I have a gift.
Oh, Herb, you shouldn't.
Now, dear, you know you'd have been broken-hearted if I didn't.
That's true.
Here. Go on, open your gift.
Oh, my. Oh.
Precious thing I own. It belonged to my mother.
Oh.
Yes, it is best. It's pure ivory and pearl. The workmanship is fantastic. A fan like this, it's a museum piece. Well, dear, one of our ancestors was in the China trade back in the clipper ship days. He brought it home. It was supposed to belong to an empress.
I don't know what to say.
You can say anything. Just give me a kiss.
I can't believe. I can't believe you. But why? What does this fan mean? I don't believe it. He doesn't know how. I can't believe.
Well, hi, stranger. Just in time for a cup of coffee.
Thanks.
How goes it? The portrait still up in the attic?
Yes.
I suppose you know what you're doing.
Tell me, Tilly, you remember the night of the robbery?
Why?
The fan.
What about it?
The fan among the things that were stolen?
Why do you ask?
Well, just curious.
Was the fan one of the stolen items? I don't know. Why don't you ask her?
It's quite all right, Mrs. Sutcliffe.
I was in the neighborhood, Lieutenant Tannenberg, and I wondered if I could just take a minute.
We're here to serve you, ma'am.
Well, there's an heirloom. It has sentimental value for my husband, and he isn't sure if it was one of those things that was stolen during the robbery.
Well, he has the list. He can check it.
Well, you see, it was a long time ago, and the list has been lost or misplaced.
Oh. Well, in that case, let's look at the one we have. As a matter of fact, I have the file right here on my desk.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
You mean the police are opening up?
No, we just have a periodic review of all the records. Here we are, Sutcliffe, Alma. List of stolen items. Here it is. Fan. Antique quality Chinese pearl and ivory. Yeah, this must be it.
And it was stolen.
Well, according to what Mr. Sutcliffe attested to at the time, yes, it was part of the loot.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Thank you very much.
The chicken is a bit underdone.
I made it the same way.
And it's tough.
Tastes the same as usual.
Now, dear, it's not that you have very much to do all day. You could at least take time and prepare a decent meal.
Herbert, what are you saying?
I'm telling you that dinner has been just thrown together as if...
You never found any fault with my cooking before.
You never gave me reason to.
Herb, this is no way to talk to me.
You have a lot to learn.
Herbert, what's gotten into you?
This meal is unfit to eat. I'll have my dinner the rest.
Herbert!
And I shall have my dinner out every night until you learn how to cook properly.
No, I don't believe it. It's a dream. All of it. You and the way Herbert just spoke to me. It's a dream.
Anita, where are you? Anita? Darling.
Hello, Herbert. You know Alma?
Anita?
Why didn't you tell me about Alma?
Because I didn't want to remember. Because if you try to put something out of your mind completely, then, well, after a while, it doesn't exist.
Why did you kill her?
I had to. She came home. I didn't expect her. She found me at the safe. Her money had come, her inheritance, in negotiable bonds. And I needed her because I was short. But she wouldn't listen.
And that's why you killed her?
But she brought it on herself. It was her fault. Where are you going?
Away from here.
No, don't leave me.
Please.
I thought you were different. But you're like all women. You can't be trusted.
Please,
You'll go to the police, won't you? I knew I couldn't trust you. Let me tell you what's going to happen to you. Shut up! See? You have a little workroom up here. You do things with art and sewing. You must have taken a nap. And while you were smoking,
terrible thing happened. You must have fallen asleep.
I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm a police officer. You must remember me. Now, Mr. Sutcliffe, will you come quietly?
I didn't do anything.
You take him down, Chappie.
I didn't do anything.
Could I just sit down for a minute?
I guess I was wrong about you. I thought you and he killed his first wife and were waiting for things to cool down.
I didn't even know he was married.
Then how did you know he killed her?
She told me.
Who told you?
She did. Look at her.
That's just a painting.
Is it?
As a matter of fact, I remember. That was in the bedroom where we found the body. Corral. That's the artist's name. Yeah, I remember. I read in the paper the guy went nuts because he felt he wasn't good enough.
On the other hand, he may have been too good.
What does a painter put in a portrait? Who knows? You hear it said of a particular good likeness that the artist captured his subject. Can that be taken literally? Take me literally when I tell you I'll be back shortly.
If you take a look at the 1975 cars, you'll notice a European influence, and there are some new American cars that rival the Europeans, one being Buick's new Skylark SR, with its touring car interior and spirited little V6 engine. But don't think of the Skylark SR as a European tourer. We're proud of the fact that it's a Buick. You will be too.
Buick, dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone. Sure, I've heard that phrase, give to the college of choice. Good idea. And I know all colleges need more money, what with inflation and all. It's just that since I graduated, I've been so busy, not just with my career, but with the community affairs, too, I haven't found the time to reevaluate. Take the time now and give more to the college of your choice. Now. A public service message of this station and the Advertising Council. So many people are like Anita Sutcliffe. So many men and women who say, don't rock the boat. Don't make waves. Don't open a can of worms. And yet, so typical. Aren't most of us desperately anxious to preserve what we have at any cost? And isn't it the saddest truth that many of us would rather live in a fool's paradise than a wise man's hell? Our cast included K.T. Stevens, Amzie Strickland, Alan Reed, and Brett Morrison. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale. We have an instant voodoo doll. Fascinating, isn't it? To know that the doll is meant to be a representation of you. Now look at it.
I'm looking.
Yeah, well, keep looking. Now, don't take your eyes off of it. You can almost see your face in the cloth, can't you? It's almost as if the doll is you. Whatever happens to the doll happens to you. Sharing one body between you. One life. One destiny.
I still think it's silly.
All right. And let's see what happens when I take this letter knife.
What are you going to do?
Nothing. I'm merely going to plunge this knife into a meaningless piece of cloth.
No, don't.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.